Young king, no corrector. I've been lost like forever. Let them talk how they talk. Youngest talk about whatever. I just fall, not involved. They gon' talk about whoever. We been off all along. We been off all along. Hold up, I got it, I gotta go get it. The Father told me to repent. Hit up the block and we look for this scatter. We searching like where they all went. My brothers be wildin', we flipping that Bible. We giving 100%. Gotta be top of the list. Gotta be one of the 144,000. I've been gone for a while and back and forth in my mind. And back and forth, I go back and forth. I've been back and forth all the time. And Lord knows I be wildin'. Lord tell me when my trials and been in denial out here. Really get deep sometimes. And this why I can't ease my mind. That's a problem. Tell me why I can't breathe sometimes. Drowning. Really get deep sometimes. And this why I can't ease my mind. That's a problem. Tell me why I can't breathe sometimes. Drowning.
Was drowning, I know I ain't dreaming. Demons, they giving me reason to fight. Was calling on love for the healing. Now I'm finally seeing the light. And these waves kinda violent, but I got a sidekick that's gon' give me guidance. Surrounded with brothers that's with me. I'm searching, I'm seeking who's friend and who's foe. Stay around angels, I'm planted, I'm grounded. I gotta stand tall at the top of the O. Glad to be back on my feet. Know I've been in too deep. Lord knows I've been struggling like a week. That's just how I see. And
really get deep sometimes. And this why I can't ease my mind. That's a problem. Tell me why I can't breathe sometimes. Drowning. Really get deep sometimes. And this why I can't ease my mind. That's a problem. Tell me why I can't breathe sometimes. Drowning.
I'm lost in this white man world, who is the boss? I'm lost, and it hurt cause I can't believe what I was taught.
Took a minute, about time I committed. Hard times felt like giving up, but your love kept me winning. Don't hesitate, got to make haste. Oh yeah, just set your pace into the race. Oh yeah, you were always my day one. You have shown me where I'm from. This is why I need your love.
Check, 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 check. All right, let's rise, face Jerusalem. Men of Israel, blow trumpets.
and the security. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Sons of God, patient saints, sons of God, hand salute, salute down, at ease. Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ, bless. Hey, man, you see who we get? We come over, we got people in here early in the morning. Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ, bless. Happy Sabbath. Hey, I'm your brother, Captain Azariah. We here in the AM. All praises. So we're going to get right to it. Y'all see today's topic. Hey, shout out to the Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Yawasop, Bishop Kanai, the deacons, the captains, the officers. All praises be to the Most High God. Shout out to all the leadership that's been laboring and putting in work in this truth for years. All praises. IT, y'all ready back there? All praises. So we're going to get right to it. Y'all see today's topic. We're going to talk about the state of decay. Yeah, put the thumb up. Thought y'all had one that can move, too. Oh, yeah. All praise. See, y'all all right in the morning, IT. So we're going to discuss the state of decay. You see our people, how the conditions we live in, and a lot of that is geared and centered around integration with these other nations and how we view and see these other nations, and we want to be with them, like them. So that's what we're going to touch on today, how integration has really sparked in all facets and aspects, sparked in this captivity the decline of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans just in this captivity, as well as historically the same thing has happened to us. So we're going to get right into it. Before we get started, give me Romans 15, verse 4. Because this scripture definitely sheds light to how we should view and operate certain things. Get that, Romans 15, verse 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, and verse 4.
Come on.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So the things written aforetime is the Bible. It was written for us to learn from, to examine how our forefathers operated, good or bad, to learn from. Read on.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures,
through patience and comfort of the scriptures, read,
might have hope.
So we be able to examine and see the things in the scriptures and see certain things that our forefathers went through, to be able to have hope in today's time, to be able to endure and go through the same. Watch this. Get Job 8. Job chapter 8 and verse 8. Start there. Job 8 and 8.
The book of Job, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Come on.
For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
The scriptures tell us to inquire of the former age. Read on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
And to prepare ourselves to the search of our fathers. That's through the Bible as well as just in this captivity. And when you examine it, just in the last 50 years, which we're going to touch it as we go through today's class, black people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans just 50 years ago are in a worse state than we was then. We are in a state of decay, a state of decline, degenerate. We glorify degeneracy. We glorify sin. The scriptures tell you to search out the Father. Prepare thyself to search your fathers. Read it again.
Verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age.
It says, inquire, I pray thee, of the former age. Come on.
And prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Watch this, read.
For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing.
Because we have a short time on this earth and know nothing. That's the same thing we just read in Romans 15 and 4, where it says the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. Read on.
And know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
Come on.
Shall not they teach thee?
Shall not what?
Shall not they teach thee?
Shall not what teach you? The former age, the search of your fathers. We go through the scriptures and we see the things how our forefathers did, which we're going to get some examples later on in today's class of the same thing you see that happened in all the captivities. They happened in this one too. How we integrated with these other nations, how we fought to be around these other nations. And what did it do? It further sent us into a state of decay and decline as a nation of people. Watch this, read on.
Shall not they teach thee and tell thee, and utter words out of their heart?
And other words out of their mind. So with that, y'all got that first video? Play that first video. It says, you want to read it.
5 ways integration underdeveloped Black America.
Watch this, read. Play it.
Black wealth stagnated or declined. During segregation, blacks were forced to start and support businesses in their own communities.
Now, so pause that. Before we go there, I know some people are like, well, what was wrong with integration? We're better off today. We got so much that's going for us. God ain't about integration. Understand that. God is all about segregation, coming out from among them. Get that, Nehemiah 9, verse 2, real quick. Because I know a lot of our people don't realize that God is all about segregation. Read that.
The book of Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse 2. And the seed of Israel separated themselves.
They did what?
Separated themselves.
They did what?
Separated themselves.
You see it all the time throughout the scripture. It says the seed of Israel separated themselves, read.
From all strangers, and stood and confessed their sins.
Read.
And the iniquity of their fathers.
So God was all about separation. Get that in the New Testament, 2 Corinthians. Because I can hear now, well, under Jesus. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Get that, 2 Corinthians 6:17. Nothing changed in the New Testament.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate.
Be ye what?
And be ye separate.
The same thing we read in the Old Testament, you read in the New. It says, come out from among them, among them. That them, as you read in the context of the chapter, is talking about unbelievers, those that are in idolatry. That's these other nations too. Because when we attach ourselves to these other nations, guess what comes along with it? All their doctrines, their philosophies. We want to be like them in all things. It says, come out from among them and what?
And be ye separate.
And be ye separate, read.
Saith the Lord.
Read.
And touch not the unclean thing.
And touch not the unclean thing. Come on.
And I will receive you.
I will receive you. So God has always been about segregation. Get that Deuteronomy 32. One more. Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy. And as we go through these scriptures, we will see that because we want to be like the other nations, we want to attach ourselves, it further pushes the decline you see in the black community. Watch this. Get Deuteronomy 32, start at verse 7.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old.
There goes again what we read in Job 8, Romans 15 before it. Remember the days of old.
Consider the years of many generations.
Consider the years of many generations. Come on.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
He said what?
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Come on.
Thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
When the Most High what?
Divided the nation to the nations.
Divided. It says when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance. God has always been about nations staying with their own nation. It's going to say it. Read on.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
He did what?
When he separated the sons of Adam.
Come on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Read.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
And God's people have always been the Israelites. So God is always about segregation. It's just what has happened. We envy these other nations. We look and see what they want to do, and we want to be attached to them. So now, hey, go back to the video. Because a lot of the class today is sparked with a lot of the points from this video. Play it. Run it from the beginning. Run it from the beginning. So it said the first point was black wealth stagnated and declined. When we what? Pause it. When we integrated with these other nations. Watch this. Play on. We're going to play the whole video. You going to read it?
Yep. Once segregation ended, blacks flocked to support businesses of whites and other groups.
Dang.
Today, blacks spend 95% of their income at white-owned businesses.
95% at white-owned businesses. Play on.
Number
Point two with integration. It says what? Read it.
Number two, black.
You can say me off the screen. Read it.
Black family structure collapsed.
The black family structure collapsed. Play on.
From 1890 to 1950, black women married at higher rates than white women.
Just play the video. He should be able to read it.
So in 1965, only 8% of childbirths were out of wedlock.
Pause that. 8% were out of wedlock. That's what I'm saying. There's things we can look back and learn. That's why the scriptures say, compare thyself to search of thy fathers. Just in this captivity. Watch this. Play it.
Today, this number has risen to 75%.
75% of marriages now are done out of wedlock, meaning out of marriage. And we're going to touch it when we get to it. You going to say something, Cap?
Yeah, you was right. I was going to say something. Go to Jeremiah chapter 6. Hey, shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless y'all. Yeah, this is one of my favorite scriptures, man, when it's talking about things of old, like it says in Romans 15:4 about the things written aforetime was written for our learning. God told us this in ancient times as well, because you can see it was only 8% of out of wedlock marriages. Because if you got pregnant during the old days, they sit you down to your grandma's house in the south somewhere, right? Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Let's read that. Look what God say.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see.
You got to stand in the ways and see what we have become since we have integrated, since we have left off from learning the things of old. Look at where we are as a nation. The video's giving us facts and proof of it, even though what we would do is we'll try to deny it and give the one-off situations. I was raised with my whole family. I didn't do that. Well, we're talking about a nation here. You got to look at us as a whole, not in singular. Read on.
And ask for the old paths.
God been told us to ask for the old paths. How did y'all used to do it? What did we used to do back in the day? Because back in the day, the old paths are what?
Where is the good way?
That's the good way. Things have gotten worse as we have progressed and integrated throughout society. But them old ways from our grandmothers and our grandfathers, them was the good ways where you had a little bit of peace. Read on.
And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls.
And as much as we have progressed and moved forward in technology and integrated ourselves in society, one thing we have lost is rest for our souls as a people. We always on the run. We work longer hours, harder jobs. You got 2 jobs now. You ain't got no rest for your soul. Our families are disoriented. They're destroyed. A mother raising 2 or 3 kids by herself. A father paying child support for 2 or 3 kids. These new ways have destroyed us where we ain't got no rest for our soul. But God said these old ways going to give you that. But what do we do? Read on.
But they said, we will not walk therein.
Man, get that old stuff out my face.
Facts.
Look at what it's done to us, brothers and sisters. Let's get back to the old ways, which are God's ways.
That's right. Go back, finish that video.
In 1954, white men had 0% unemployment rate.
Which we know why they had 0% in employment rate. This they kingdom. But watch this, read.
Yeah, go back. Affirmative action did not significantly improve the employment rate for most black men, as it was designed to primarily help white women and some upwardly. By 2010, black men were unemployed at 16.7%, compared to white men at 7.7%. Point number 4.
You ain't got to pause it.
Myth of a colorblind society was promoted.
And we're going to touch that too. That's that John 3:16. That's for God so loved the world. We're going to touch that.
To oppose policies intended to address specific.
You might have to pause it. Go ahead.
Colorblind policies often reinforce color-coded practices in favor of white people. Number 5, black community became dependent. Integration made blacks dependent on whites in the areas of economics, education, and neighborhoods. Now only 2% of all working black people work for another black person. The majority of black students receive miseducation through inadequate schooling. Millions of black men are removed from black communities via mass incarceration. Blacks' dependency on others to control community affairs led to sustained despair in the black community.
All right, all praise. All right, so we're going to deal with that first point because it made several points. The black wealth declined. It said the second point, the black family structure collapsed. Black men, the unemployment of black men, how it skyrocketed, which understand a lot of stuff is systematic. Yes, we understand because we broke God's commandments. These things happen to us. Yes, we understand that. But a part of that breaking God's commandments is our need to want to integrate with these other nations. The other point, the fourth point, it said the myth of colorblind society, which we understand it ain't colorblind, it's white blinded society. And then black community became dependent. So that first point, give me Jeremiah 29. Because understand this, in our captivities, yeah, we're in captivity, but God still commanded us to do what? Get that, Jeremiah 29, start at verse 1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 29 and verse 1. Now, these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captive.
Which were what?
Which were carried away captive.
Which were carried away captive, read.
And to the priests and to the prophets and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem.
So in our captivity, these words were sent to Israel to tell them what? Jump down to verse 6. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Build ye houses.
Do what?
Build ye houses.
Even in captivity, we were told to what? Build ye houses. Come on.
And dwell in them.
And dwell in them, read.
And plant gardens and eat the fruit of them.
What do you think it takes to build a house? To plant a garden? To eat the fruit thereof? It takes a level of what? Economics. It does. It takes a level of money to be able to build houses. So we were, even in captivity, we were commanded to what? Be sufficient. Be sufficient. Come together. Build houses. Sustain yourself. Plant gardens. Watch this. Read on.
Plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters.
Take wives, beget sons and daughters. Have a family. Come on.
And take wives for your sons.
Read.
And give your daughters to husbands.
Guess what that is? It says take wives for your sons and give daughters for your husbands for your daughters. What does this build? This builds a nation. This is a society. This is a community, even in captivity. Read on.
That they may bear sons and daughters. That ye may be increased there.
That you may be what?
Increased there.
That you may be increased where? In captivity. Read on.
And not diminish.
And not diminish. And not diminish. And where do you think these sons and daughters what they were taking. They were amongst themselves. They was giving them to their own race of people. It wasn't, oh, go take sons and daughters of the other nations. We're just going to touch that later. Read on.
Verse 7. And seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord for it. For in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
So you read, God commanded us even in captivity to what? To sustain ourselves, to come together, build houses, plant gardens, take wives, build family. This is the structure of a nation, of a community, of a coming together. Hey, get that next video. Pull up that next one I got.
Hey Cap.
Go ahead.
So these are some of the things that we tried to do.
Yes, we did. We tried to do these things.
We tried to do banking. We tried to build our own schools.
We gonna touch that.
Okay.
You're right. We tried to do these things.
Right.
But because we wanted to integrate, that's what we saw the video. The 5 ways integration destroyed us. Because we wanted to integrate, it further. The Esau came in and tore all of those things up. Because remember, the what was his name? FBI agent, the director of the FBI. J. Edgar Hoover. He said the worst thing to American society, I know I might be butchering it, is Negro unity. Because they understand when we unify as a nation, when we come together, the only thing that's got to be incorporated is what? The Bible. Right. And then everything they built is destroyed. So watch this. Play that next video.
Black folks want to integrate.
Turn it up.
And
turn it up in here.
Kill us for a number of reasons. I'll try to get these
Start it
points
from the top. Because we can't really hear it in here.
Black folks want to integrate, and integrate kill us for a number of reasons. I'll try to get these points in very quickly. One, first of all, integration is nothing but a new modified form of segregation.
Pause. Integration ain't nothing but a modified form of segregation. Understand that. I'll tell you, black people, we think, oh, we integrated, we came in. No. It was just they understood, they seen the unity. That was, because as we go through it, you're going to see they tore down all the different structures that you read in the Bible of how our people were supposed to come together and build with one another. No, it was just a modified way of segregation to what? To further control the minds of our people. Play it on.
Broken your people down to a smaller unit, you defied the first premise of power, which is you no longer have numerical power. Now you're in little small groups all around large urban areas. That's point one that's going to knock out.
It says now you just in little small groups, all in common areas, and you see that we in little small ghettos, all in these different cities, and in small groups in white neighborhoods. Play on.
Point two is that the white society maintains what we call a racial balance, or what we call a tipping point, which says that I will accept black folk primarily at 0, but I would tolerate them anywhere from up to 5 to 8% of any given population. But the minute they cross that 5 to 8% population, it is no longer integration, it's now invasion.
Pause. They said it's no longer integrated. Listen, they said other white people I can tolerate, I want them at 0, but I can tolerate 5%. But anytime it's over there, it's no longer integration, it's an invasion. That's how they look at it. I'm telling you, when we come together as a nation of people, when we trying to prosper and build as a nation of people, they look at it as what? An invasion.
And what's the next thing they start saying? Oh boy, there goes the property value.
There goes the property value,
there
right?
Goes the neighborhood.
Right. Yep. Play on.
Take action against it. So I'll either take my kids out of school, put my house up for sale, move my business.
That's what you said. Hold on. They said they take action against it. Oh, I got to take my kids out of school. I got to put my head. There goes the neighborhood. Was that it on that play on?
Or I will resign from the organization. Okay, because I'm not going to let him get that dominance over me. Third thing that immigration is done for you, it destroyed all your major businesses.
Yep.
Because they use the highway system to drive expressways right down the center of every black community in this country.
Hey, you ever notice that? Pause. Every black community, there is a major highway going right through it. Right through it. That was by design. Play on.
Used to have major business opportunities in the country. They were all destroyed. 4, we find that also we got a major capital drain. There's a basic rule in economics which says you must spend your money in your community and make it bounce 8 to 12 times before it leaves. Black money never bounced 1 time. Black folk have approximately $300 billion.
And you know what's heavy about that? It says you spend your money in your own community. Our forefathers always understood keep things within us. Get Acts 4 real quick, just real quick. Real quick. Because I know we pull this all the time. But watch this. Get Acts 4. Read verse 34.
The book of Acts chapter 4 and verse 34. Neither was there any among them that lacked.
Neither was there any among them that lacked. Come on.
For as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them.
It said many that were possessors of land and houses sold them. What would you call that today? That would be real estate. They took their houses, they put them on the market, they sold them. And where did they bring the money to? Watch this, read on.
And brought the prices of the things that were sold.
They brought the prices of the things that were sold, read.
And laid them down at the apostles' feet.
Read.
And distribution was made unto every man according as
that
he
money
had
stayed within what? The community. They stayed with amongst us. You always see these principles in the Bible. But because we want to integrate with the other nations, we love them so much, what does it cause us to do? Take our money and go and keep it in there. And what happens to our communities? They continue to decline. You always see that, and that's why I said it was neither of them lacked. You've seen that with Black Wall Street. Think about Black Wall Street. They said it took how long did it take for the dollar to leave Black Wall Street? Just $1. It would circulate for months before it went out of the community. That's what we're reading here. It was always about community. They had all things common. Go back to that video. What are y'all doing? Go back. Finish that video out. Was that it on there? I think that was
annually. Right. That money doesn't even bounce in our communities.
They said that money don't even bounce in our communities. It said it don't, right. You understand? That's what it get it, go. It don't even bounce in the community. It get it, go. You said the check bounce. Oh, man. Hey, get Micah 2 real quick. Hey, watch this. Pull up them images. Get Micah 2, verse 1. Because you said it. Pull up that first one as you get Micah 2. Micah 2. It says, key information regarding black-owned banks in the early 1900s. Read that first part, the number of institutions.
Number of institutions. Between 1888 and 1934, 134 black-owned banks were formed across the United States.
It was 134 black-owned banks across the United States. Read.
During the first decade of the 20th century, over 60 prosperous black banks existed.
Over 60, it didn't just say black banks, it says 60 prosperous black banks. This was before segregation, not after. This is before. Watch this, read.
Particularly in the South. Assets and deposits. Financial figures vary by institution. Capital Savings Bank in Washington, D.C.
So now it's going to go through some different banks. You had Capital Savings Bank was a big one. The Browns and Stevens Bank. You had the Freeman Bank, which ain't on there. It was many. It was 134.
And you got to think about this, too. This is $300,000 in 1888.
Yes. No, it's going to say that.
Yeah, pull it back up.
Go back. That one notable.
1908. This is big money during that time.
Yeah, read that one notable black.
One notable black bank had assets reaching over $540,000 by 1913.
Come on, read
approximately $17.1 million in today's money.
Dang. Read the purpose.
Purpose. These banks provided essential services like credit, loans for homes and businesses, and jobs that were denied by white-owned institutions.
It says the purpose of the banks were essential services like credit, loans for homes, businesses, and jobs that were denied by white-owned institutes. Everyone put their money into that bank, and guess what? People were able to come and get loans for their houses, those that need, because if you need, why are you going to get a loan? Because you needed the help. You didn't have the capital at the time, but you could go to a bank that looked just like you and get the capital and not have to worry about it because it's your own people. Read challenges.
Many face significant challenges, including speculative investments.
That's what they did. So what happened? You had Esau come. A good movie to watch to understand that is The Banker. The Banker. As soon as because it was blacks, they said, oh, them are speculative investments. They're sketchy investments. Read.
lack of liquidity,
Come on.
and vulnerability to economic downturn and racial violence.
And racial violence. They came in and said, oh, man, the Negroes is prospering more than us. Nah, drop a bomb on them like they did in Black Wall Street. It's going to say it, read.
Such as the destruction of the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Get that, Micah 2. Yep. Micah chapter 2, read verse 1.
The book of Micah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
That's what you see. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. This society, this nation has devised iniquity. They work evil upon their bed. They go to sleep thinking about evil. They wake up thinking about evil on how I can destroy and keep blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans destroyed. Read on.
When the morning is light, they practice
and guess
it.
what? When the morning is light, they practice it. And that's what you see. Read on.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because it is in the power of their hand. Because we broke God's commandments, they have this power to what? To come against us, to destroy us economically, to destroy, systematically come in and destroy us trying to build a nation. Because we break God's commandments.
Hey, Cap, and it was so powerful.
Hey, is this right? Yeah, I hope it don't. He reading.
Mic check. But it was so powerful, right? Not only just Black Wall Street, but many black communities throughout the United States. It was so powerful. They didn't say, okay, let's not just infiltrate it, right? Let's not just do systemic things to demise them. Let's blow it up.
Let's blow it up.
We gotta get rid of it.
Blow
completely rid of it. They flooded. There was another place they flooded.
No,
Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier they flooded.
Yep.
Oh, it's another place they flooded too. We're gonna get that in a second.
They said, let's blow it up. Get rid of it.
Let's blow it up. Let's flood it. That's what they do. They come in with their policies. They come in with their crafty counsel. Get that in Daniel. Real quick. Daniel 8. Matter of fact, finish that in Micah. Then we get Daniel. Finish that in Micah. Verse 2.
Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
That's to blow it up. They covet fields and take it by violence. Come on.
And houses and take them away.
And houses and take them away. You've seen that all throughout in the early 1900s, where they did what? They blew up Black Wall Street. They flooded Lake Lanier. And there's many black towns where they came in and they did the same process, and look at them today. They even did it to Northern Kingdom. Oh, we're going to get that in a second. Give me, is that it on that?
So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage.
The purpose of it is to oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage, to cause you to do what? To integrate, to now come to them. Watch this. Go to Daniel. Go to Daniel real quick. 8:25. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25.
The book of Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy.
And through his what?
And through his policy.
And through his policies, read.
Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
That's what you see through his democracy, through his democratic way. He calls craft to prosper. Read on.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many.
And by peace shall destroy many. Because they make you think the Great Society. Remember, that was the bill in 1964, the Great Society, Lyndon B. Johnson's economic plan. Peace. I'm coming to help the impoverished and the poor. Well, why are they impoverished and poor? Oh, maybe because you just bombed a city and flooded their lake and put certain bills and policies in place to make them poor. I'm telling you, through his policies, he calls craft to prosper. Because now, watch this. Put the image up. Put the next image up. Because remember, it said it was 134, right? During the 1800s. Now look at it.
There are approximately 23 black-owned banks in the United States as of early 2025.
How you go from 134 to 23? I thought integration was supposed to be better for our people.
Some of them are online banks.
Oh, no.
No physical building.
Hold on, watch this. Read the minority dispository institutions. Yeah. Watch this. It's heavy you said that. Look at that.
Minority depository institutions.
Of these black banks, these 23 black banks, watch this.
The FDIC designates these as minority depository
They don't even designate them as actual banks. Damn. They designate them as minority depository institutions. Hey, black people, this is where you go take your money. Black people, this is where you go take your money to. Watch this, read.
If at least 51% of the voting stock is owned by black individuals, or if the majority of the board of
So what
directors is black.
dictates a black-owned bank is if 51% of the voting stock is owned by black individuals or the board of directors is black. So that means the other 49% is who? Esau, these other nations. Understand that. Understand that. I'm telling you, through his policies, he calls craft to prosper.
Somebody put in the chat as a heavy point. They broke us down to
Yes.
loan sharks.
To loan sharks. That's exactly what we are. Loan sharks. Loan sharks. Hey, drop that. Pull up that next article. Dealing wise. I'm telling you. Pull up that next one. Because when you look, I'm telling you, that's why it says 5 ways integration destroyed our people. The black wealth declined. We're going to go through this fast. It says 9 historical black neighborhoods that celebrate black. I just want to show it was more than just Black Wall Street. Scroll down. Just scroll. You had Greenwood, Black Wall Street. Scroll. You had the Hottie District in Durham, North Carolina. Scroll. You had Harlem, New York. You remember the Harlem Renaissance, all that? Go scroll down. U Street, Washington, D.C. Scroll down. You freaking. You had 10th Street, even in Dallas. 10th Street, Dallas. Scroll up, though. It was something on that I read. Just watch this. This is a point. Read under 10th Street Historical District, Dallas, Texas. And those from Dallas, as soon as you hear this word, you're going to know.
Situated in a white community called Oak Cliff.
At one point, they said it was a white community. Oak Cliff ain't no white community. And when you look at Oak Cliff today, Oak Cliff, Texas, it is the hood. Like it is the degenerate part of Dallas, Texas. At one point, it was a thriving black community. Thriving black. They put white on here. Read white because it's gonna say it.
In a white community called Oak Cliff, 10th Street District grew to become a prominent black community.
Because it was the point earlier. Black people move in. What do white people do? Left. Oh, I gotta go. And so it became a prominent black community soon after the Civil War because of segregation. It was a white community before the Civil War, of course. But after that, black people moved in, white people got, and it became a black community. Read.
More than 500 black residents lived in the area by 1900.
So it was a thriving black community. Now it's a ghetto. It's a thriving ghetto. It's a thriving cesspool of sin. Keep going.
Read it.
I tell you, they know Oak Cliff. They ain't lying.
Somebody name in the chat is called Hood Granny Oak Cliff. Wow.
I'm telling you, when you know Oak Cliff, Texas, Dallas, oh man. Hey,
her name prove it. Come on, sis. Hood Granny Oak Cliff.
Here another one, 4th District, Birmingham. Keep scrolling. I just want to show you it was more than it. That's how we had 134 banks throughout the United States, even in Atlanta. All right, drop that. But guess what? It wasn't just black people. Hey, pull up the next one. The next order. Some of y'all been down here. Remember, it says they work iniquity upon their bed. They devise evil that they may covet fields and take it by violence. Through the policies they call craft to prosper. Many of y'all know the cabin trip here in Oklahoma. Many of y'all been down here. What y'all didn't know is that was a thriving Gadite community. Pull it up. It was called Hochatown.
Right. Hochatown, Oklahoma. Hochatown is a town in McCurtain County, Oklahoma. United States, it is the second town to hold the name.
It's the second town to hold the name, read.
After the first was flooded.
After the first was flooded. Read.
By the damming of the Mountain Fork River.
Go down to the history of the first Hochatown.
First Hochatown. The land that will become Hochatown was owned by the Choctaw tribe.
It was owned by the Choctaw tribe, the Native Americans. Read.
With 12 families.
Or what society calls the Native Americans, which is Gad according to the Bible. Read.
With 12 families moving into the area in the 1880s. Like Broken Bow, Hochatown grew around the Choctaw Lumber and Coal Company, later named Dirks, gaining a post office in 1894.
They gained a post office in 1894, read.
By 1900, it had become...
By the early 1900s, read.
It had become a bustling town.
So think about it. You had blacks on one end in the early 1900s coming together, and you had Native Americans coming together. Guess what? You think that they was just separate and they weren't dealing with each other? That's what Esau wants you to think. Give me the next article. Give me the next one. Watch this. Scroll down. Yep. No. Go up a little bit. Go up. Up. Y'all. When we say up, y'all go down. I guess I gotta say down so you can go up. Read it.
The Encyclopedia of Oklahoma History and Culture.
Come on.
Mill towns, lumber. In eastern Indian.
Blow it up. Make it bigger. Yeah.
In eastern Indian Territory, the timber industry emerged gradually in the late 19th century.
In the late 19th century, that's the late 1800s, read.
Stimulating a new kind of small urban center, the lumber mill town.
So you had the lumber mill towns. What do you need to build houses? What do you need to build structure? You need lumber. Watch this, though. Scroll down. I want to point out something because it said it became a bustling thing. Start where it says beginning in 1871.
Beginning in 1871, the Choctaw Nation tried to take a stronger stand to protect forest resources by passing a series of regulatory laws.
Now, they say that to try to protect the forest resource by passing a series of regulatory laws. But when you listen to the laws that they were trying to put in place, it was to keep the other nations out and keep it amongst each other. Watch.
They set royalty payments for the export of lumber and ties.
They set royalty payments for the exports of lumber and ties. So people that wanted lumber and they wanted to come in, listen, you're going to have to pay us. Watch this.
Authorized agents that were allowed to sell to railroads.
They only had certain authorized agents that they allowed to sell to railroads.
Prohibited Negroes from selling timber to non-citizens.
They told blacks, hey, listen, you got to keep it to you can't sell to non-citizens. You got to keep it amongst us, those that are citizens where they were at. Read.
Expanded the law to apply to all Choctaw citizens.
That's the citizens. So the non-citizens was who? Who do you think the non-citizens were? The other nations. Mm-hmm. The other nations. So here it is. You had a thriving Native American community. Read on.
Raised the royalty amounts and classified sawed ties into categories requiring specific royalty payments.
Watch this, but watch this though.
At the beginning of the 20th century, as the allotment process took land.
Now, a lot of times you'll see allotment process took land. What did Esau do? Through his policies, he caused craft to prosper. He devised iniquity upon his bed. He covered fields, and he took it by violence. The allotment process was basically the United States government signed a law that allowed whites to come in and take Gadite land. That is 100%. So what did you have, dude? They were a bustling, prosperous city that sold lumber amongst themselves. They sold lumber to blacks and kept it within the society. But what did white people do? They said, you know what? Pass that bill. They making money too. Pass that bill and you go down there and take the land. Watch this. And it's going to say it.
As the allotment process took land from the Choctaw Nation and put it into private hands.
That private hands is white hands. Read.
Corporations began acquiring timberlands.
They began to acquire timberlands. Watch this, read.
Foremost among these was the Derrick's Brothers, Choctaw Lumber Company.
These were Esau, Edomites, Derrick Brothers. So what did they begin? So they seen this thriving community, and what did they do? They passed a law to take their land, to now move in and reap the benefits off of it. Understand? I'm telling you. Understand this. They devise iniquity. They come against us. Hey, get that in Psalms 55. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. And then give me that next article. Oh, no, it's a video. It's a video.
The book of Psalm chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
You've seen that with the Native American. He come screaming peace. But read.
Verse 21. Well, he hath broken his covenant.
And he broke all his covenants. All the treaties that they had with the so-called Native Americans, he broke every last one of them. Read.
The words of his mouth was smoother than butter.
Smoother than butter. He come in, yeah, we gonna take your land and make it prosperous and give you this. You seen that with Killers of the Flower Moon. You seen that all throughout Oklahoma. I'm telling you, during the time of Black Wall Street, on the flip side, you had not only was they trying to destroy Judah with Black Wall Street, they were destroying the so-called Native Americans. Remember, the Trail of Tears pushed them here to Oklahoma. And guess what they did? They set up shop and they began to prosper. You had towns like Hochatown. You had Killers of the Flower Moon, which was the Osage, where they had property, they had lands, they had cities where they were staying amongst each other. And what did Esau do? Came in and infiltrated, stole, raped, robbed, and pillaged.
Right. Cap, think about how wicked Esau was, right? When it said in verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than mother, talking about his covenant above. But you know how Esau got certain policies, certain documents, right? And they put a loophole in there for themselves. So Gad don't understand the lingo or the language. And so it says the words of his mouth, talking about the things he said, the stuff in his documents, were smoother than butter. But the whole time, war was in his heart. He had a plan. He would put the bills, write things into documents. You really don't understand the same way you read documents, legal documents today. You're like, what does this mean? And then they get you with that same document. Look, these people, the Edomite is the damn devil.
And what is this showing? How when we integrated with these other nations, it was to our demise. It was to our destruction. Finish that verse.
It says, verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
War was in his heart. And as we go on, we're going to see it with just that Gadite city. War was in his heart. It said it was flooded. It's going to show you why I was flooded. Read on.
His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords.
Hey, you play that next video? See, Esau, he'll put all this to make you think it was a myth and the myth and ghost stories and da-da-da-da. But I want you to hear what Esau says about it. Read on. Skip on. Skip ahead. Oh, that BS. Right there.
To tell the story of Old Hochatown, you kind of have to begin with the first visitors. In 1830, the U.S. Congress passed the Indian Removal Act, and the Choctaws followed the Trail of Tears to the lands.
Through his policies, he caused craft to prosper. The Indian Removal Act pushed them out here. Read.
They had traded for. When they got here, the Mountain Fork was the first river inside the Indian Territory. So they set up shop in Eagletown, right on the riverbanks. And as the Choctaws spread out along the river, several families.
Because he's showing pictures. He says that they spread out along the river and they did what? They set up communities. They built houses. They gave their sons and their daughters. They built wealth, community, family. Play.
Found a valley about 7 miles north of the Eagletown settlement, and they settled there together. And one of those families' name was Hocha, and that's how.
The name of the city, reason why it was called Hochatown, because the family was named Hocha. Play.
Hochatown came in existence. Late part of the 1800s, white settlers started to move in. When they came into the area, they brought some industry with them. One of those was.
So this says his words are smoother than butter right here, because they will make you believe that, see, white settlers came in and they bought some industry with them. That's why we read earlier, they was already making money off timber and lumber. They didn't need no help. And the only reason white settlers came in is because they had passed the Allotment Act to where now they can go and take the land. That's why I tell you his words are smoother than butter. But continue to play.
The timber industry. Soon Hochatown became a bustling timber town. Pine trees were being harvested. Schools were built.
They try to make you think schools was built because of the white man. I'm telling you, they devise iniquity. Play on.
Posts. They even built a railroad spur to be able to move the timber in and out to the sawmills over in DeQueen. For the next couple of decades, that timber town and the Hochatown economy was just bustling. It was absolutely booming. But eventually the timber was all down, and they moved the timber towns on further north, and Hochatown was.
Pause. You hear what he said? He says the timber was all down, right? Some of y'all have been out there. Is the timber gone? No. Is the timber down? I'm telling you, these are his words are smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. They will say certain things to try to get you to believe, oh, the timber went away, so they moved away and they left, and then now the town went to BS. You said you got what?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a picture of the Choctaw Indians.
Yeah, put it up.
Because now when you drive down that town, you see ads and stuff, and they talk about all the Choctaw Nation and all that stuff. Now they white. The Choctaw Indians are white. Show that image.
Yeah, put that image up there.
This is what we're talking about, where they oppress a man and his heritage.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen, I know everybody think Oklahoma is Gadite country and Gadite central, but I'm telling you.
Let me tell you, it's not.
It's not.
I've been here I can count on one hand how many I done seen. I expected to come out here and see Gad walking around everywhere with his dream catchers and his fringes on. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen a real Gadite.
Cat, I've been here over 10 years, and I can the same count on one hand. I'm telling you. Yes, at one point in time, yes. When the Indian Removal Act, yes, they pushed them to Oklahoma. But what did Gad do? They did what Judah did out here. They began to set up cities, set up towns, become self-sufficient, and prosper. And Esau was like, oh, no. Drop a bomb on them Negroes up there and flood out that city over there. And they pushed Gad. I'm telling you, if you ask me, they pushed Gad further west. This is home of the $5 Indian.
Captain, that's right. Do you remember when we did that?
Y'all switched that way. They tag teaming up there.
Hey, I gotta get on this. Hey, they tag team. Shoot, they tag team on us. Hey, Captain Ezra, do you remember when we did that flyer mission in I can't remember what little town in Oklahoma.
Tahlequah. Which one are you talking about?
I think it was Tahlequah. Yes, it was Tahlequah.
Yes.
So you remember we was down there, trying to wake our people.
Yeah, we went to one of the powwows.
And the women came to us, and a couple of men, and they were saying that the people who was over there was she said the white man. She said he ain't no Indian. That's a white dude. That's
$5.
Yep, that's what she called him.
$5. I'm telling you.
They was mad. They was mad because they get in and infiltrate, and then they call themselves the Indian. I'm the Indian. You know what I'm saying? You the alien. I'm the real Indian. No. You the red man. I'm the superior over you. That's what they say.
Hey, you can drop that video. Get the next article for time's sake. We spent a lot more time on this than I know. Hey, I just want to scroll all the way down to the bottom just to show you. I want to show you with that lumber company. No, right there, at the beginning. Watch this. So they flooded out the city. The lumber company is still there in the second city. Watch this. Play that.
At the beginning of the 21st century, Weyerhaeuser continued forest management and forest product manufacturing as a prominent corporate presence in Southeast
I thought the
Oklahoma.
timber dried up. I thought the timber went away. I'm telling you, their words are smoother than butter, but war is in their heart. Play. I'll read.
A Fortune 200 company, Weyerhaeuser is the world's largest owner of merchantable softwood timber and producer of softwood and hardwood.
Weisenhower is the ones that bought the Choctaw Lumber Company. It said it is the largest company of say that word again. Yeah. Wood, softwood timber, and producer of softwood and hardwood lumber.
And that's true, because when we be up there, man, them trucks never stop. It's 24 hours a day. They're coming out with 18-wheelers full
of lumber. Full of lumber. Hey, just do that Google search real quick. I wanted to Google search it real quick. Put it up there. It says, it didn't search it right, but put a question mark at the end of that, because I asked Google search a question. I said, was the first Ho Chi Town city flooded? Mine told me. It said yes, it was. But go ahead. No, you can read it. We know it.
Ho Chi Town is a town in McCurtain County, Oklahoma, United States. It is the second town to hold the name after the first was flooded by the damming of the Mountain Fork River to create Broken Bow Lake.
It was flooded by the United States government when you do the research and the history to create the Broken Bow Lake. So whenever y'all come, when you go out there, and I know we got to do more. We're supposed to be doing a documentary on this. When you go out there, that whole lake, that Broken Bow Lake, that used to be a city. Just like they did Lake Lanier. In the history on Lake Lanier, guess what? They did the same thing to Gad. That whole lake, under it is the city. The first city, the Gad of where Gad was. So drop that. Give me Psalms 64. That lake is huge. I'll show you how big that city was. Get Psalm 64. Start at verse 1.
The book of Psalm, chapter 64 and verse 1.
Come on.
Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy.
Come on.
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
That's what we see. The secret counsels of the wicked. They devise iniquity. Read.
From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword.
They whet their tongue like a sword. Read.
And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Read.
That they may shoot them in secret at the perfect.
And that's what they do. That's why you don't hear about this history. They try to keep it secret. They try to hide it. But guess what? God has sent his prophets on the earth to reveal it, to reveal that son of perdition that worketh iniquity. It says they shoot at secret at the perfect. We the perfect. God's chosen people, the Israelites. Read.
Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
They shoot at him. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They ain't afraid of what they doing. They ain't afraid of God's judgment of trying to destroy God's chosen people. Read.
They encourage themselves in an evil matter.
They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They encourage, I'm telling you, they take pride in destroying us and keeping us destroyed. Read.
They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
And they say, who shall see me? They lay snares privily, and we're showing some of their snares. Like the second point that video made, integration. What you don't realize, integration was a snare. It was a snare devised by our enemies. And that second point, it destroyed the black family structure. When we integrated, the black family structure collapsed. Because watch this, get Hebrews 13 and 4. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Because we forgot this right here.
Hey, a quick point.
Yes, sir.
So this is why Trump is removing the history out of the museums.
Yep.
Because he knows their history is so dark. They want to keep us in ignorance. That we were once a thriving people in this country.
Read that.
The book of Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 4.
Come on.
Marriage is honorable in all.
We used to believe, even in this captivity, not 50 years ago, that marriage was honorable. That's why it said only 8% of children were born out of wedlock. It says marriage is honorable. The Bible is all about marriage. That is something we have forgotten in the black and Hispanic community. Read.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled.
And the bed undefiled, read.
But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
We've become whoremongers, we've become adulterers, and God said he will judge you. Understand that. Before integration, we had a sense of family, a sense of marriage with our own nation, with our own people. Watch this. Play the next video.
And society has made living for the women without the husband or without the man easy.
Oh?
Yeah, well,
it says society has made living without the husband and living without the man easy. She's about to show you how it was made easy. Play.
Welfare is not the best thing for everybody.
Says what? Run it back a little bit.
Oh? Yeah, welfare. I think welfare is not the best thing for everybody. Teenage pregnancy cannot be stopped by programs. It has to be morals, and morals come from God.
Pause. It says teenage pregnancy cannot be stopped by programs. That's what you don't understand. Programs are put in place to cause teenage pregnancy. Understand that. That's why she said it's not the best thing, because you lose a sense of marriage as honorable. It says it has to be taught morals. What morals? Get Titus 2. Morals by God. Get Titus 2. Titus chapter 2. I tell you, integration was the worst thing for our people. Get that, Titus chapter 2.
The book of Titus chapter 2,
Start at
and verse 2. That the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
You notice it starts with the man. It says the aged man may be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and in patience. That is the order, the structure of a family. That's why it's heavy what she said. A teenage pregnancy can't be stopped by programs. It has to be taught by morals of God. We're reading it because it starts with the man, the father in the house. Then it trickles down to what, Reed?
The aged women likewise.
Likewise, just like the husband, because that's who she learning from. She learning from her husband, Reed.
The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
You don't see that in our society today. They be in behavior that becometh holiness. Read.
Not false accusers.
Not false accusers. Read.
Not given to much wine.
Not given to much wine. All right, man. You see, our women are drunk. Some of them probably still to right now from last night. It says not given to much wine. Read.
Not given to much wine, teachers of good things.
That's those morals. They're supposed to be teachers of good things, to teach their children how to what? How to conduct themselves, how to love themselves, how to move as a man or woman of God. They teach their children how they're supposed to present themselves. Read on.
That they may teach the young women.
That they may teach the young women to what?
To be sober.
These those morals that she was talking about in the video. To be sober, sober-minded. Read on.
To love their husband.
To do what?
To love their husband.
Listen, the black woman has to be taught how to love her husband. And understand this, society ain't taught you that, or nor will they teach you that. But when you look before integration, the black woman had some sense of how to love her husband. That's why she was the least divorced woman, because she was taught some sense of how to love her husband. But we've lost that because we want to integrate with these other nations. We want to be like these other nations. And they don't move like that. These other nations don't move like that. Read that again.
To love their husbands, to love their children.
Not only to love their husbands, but to love their children. Love their children. Integration has caused that to collapse. Because now, the woman in the household, she don't want to teach her children. She don't want to love her children. She would rather the TV love her children and teach her children. She would rather society, just BET, all that filth, TikTok, Instagram, all that could teach my children. Or the streets can teach my children. Read on.
Verse 5. To be discreet.
Because you teach your daughters, the young daughters and your children to be discreet. Discreet. You ain't all up in men's faces. You know how to conduct yourself. You know how to act. Read.
To be discreet, chaste.
Chaste. That is definitely something you do not see in the black community. Right. Chaste. What the word chaste means, you have a sense of sexual purity. Right. Your virginity means something. Y'all see it. You already know growing up in the neighborhood, they're like, you hear somebody, you're a virgin, you get scorned and shunned. That ain't normal. That is not normal to God. And understand that we had a sense of that. Yeah, we didn't have the commandments, but we had a sense of that before integration.
Hey, Cap.
Go ahead. What you got?
One thing that's going on right now, that's current, right, with the EBT situation or with the government being shut down. Sisters back in the day, I'm saying mama, grandmama, back in the day, they knew how to make the meal stretch. Know how to make food stretch. Women nowadays, they don't know how to do that. They so quick right. with the microwaves and the spaghetti and all.
Tell you, we live in a microwave society. They want everything now. That's what we've been taught. But finish that.
Verse 5. To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home.
Keepers at home.
Good. Obedient to their own husbands.
Their own husbands. You notice it keeps saying husband, 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 husband. This is the family unit, the family structure. Read.
That the word of God be not blasphemed.
That the word of God be not blasphemed. These are the morals that have to be taught. But what happened? You had the welfare state, the Great Society, all these different economic plans and things that come in that they say is for low-income urban neighborhoods to help them. But when you look at it, looking back, all it did was further destroy us and take us further away from what God commanded us to do. Understand that. You can drop that video. Pull up that image. I'm gonna skip. I gotta skip one video. I'm gonna skip that one video. Pull up the image after that. Yeah, that right there. Cause watch this. Look, it says black women more likely to be married than white women until 1970. But look at you can see the decline. You see it. Boom, boom, boom. That's why I'm telling you, Esau thinks deep. They think long term. They put their policies in. They put their policies and things in place, and they look, okay, 10 years from now, this is what's supposed to happen. 15 years from now, this is what's supposed to happen. And this is a visualization of that. All throughout, you see 5%, 5%, 5%. It says the percentage never married among women ages 35 or older by race. You see the black woman, 5% of all black women all the way up until 1960 was never married. I mean, without a husband. Only 5. So that means 95% of black women were married. They wasn't a baby mama. They wasn't a baby dad. They wasn't no baby daddies. They wasn't a side piece. They wasn't a thought. They wasn't a video vixen. They were a wife. They were a mother. Oh, put that back up there. Then, 1960, what happened? The welfare state came. Integration came. We began to be in society, and you've seen it spike. And then from there all the way up, this is just the 2010. Who knows where it's at now? This was just 10 years ago. It was 25%. It spiked up. Now it's all the way up. The black woman is one of the most divorced and unmarried women. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Because we want to be amongst these other nations. We want to integrate. So go, drop that. Give me, watch this. Give me 2 Maccabees chapter 7. Because I want to show an example. Watch this. Our foremothers were always about raising their children, being keepers at home, teachers of good things and morals. I want to give an example. Give me 2 Maccabees 7, read verse 27 real quick.
The book of 2 Maccabees.
This is an example of a woman that taught her children, that was a married woman. Watch this, read.
2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in their country language on this manner. O my son, have pity upon me, that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee suck 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up unto this age, and endured the troubles of education.
This woman endured the troubles of education. That was what the video he said. It said the welfare state taught was the worst thing for us, and we think programs are supposed to teach our children. Programs are supposed to prevent the bad behavior. No, it's the morals of God. What we read in Titus chapter 2, those troubles of education. Being able to teach your children how to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home. The young women being taught that. The young males being taught how to be sober-minded, to be like their father. That's what she's instructing them here. She's instructing these young men to be like their father. Read on.
Verse 28. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, and consider that God made them of the things that were not. And so was mankind made likewise.
Come on, read.
Fear not this.
What did she say?
Fear not this torment.
She told him to fear not this torment. Don't fear your enemy. Give glory to God. This is how you're supposed to train up your children and teach your children. Understand that. And our people had a sense of that before integration. They had a sense of who the enemy was. They were taught to love yourself, love your nation. Don't fear the enemy. Read.
But being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death.
She told this man to take his death. How many of y'all women can say that? To your son, to your child. Watch this. Jump over the verse in the same chapter. Jump to verse 10. Here's another example of the kid. Read.
Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock.
Come on.
And when he was required, he put out his tongue. And that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
Come on.
And said courageously.
So this man, he took his tongue out. He did in like manner to the ones before. He just seen his brothers killed. What did he say courageously, read?
These I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them. And from him I hope to receive them again.
Where do you think he learned that from? Where do you think he got that from? Remember, it says she endured the troubles of education. That was instilled in him by what? By his father and his mother. The family unit, the family structure. That's what we're reading. That's why he's able now to say, listen, from these I had from heaven, and for his law I despised them. And from him I had hoped to receive them again. Watch this, read.
Verse 12. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
They marveled at him. Like, God dang, they marveled at his courage. Where you think that courage was instilled at? From his childhood, growing up. And we seen that before integration. Because we had black teachers. We had the family unit. You had a mother and father in the household. You had all these different things. Everything was us. It instilled a sense of unity, a sense of purpose in us. And that's what you see here. Don't think he just learned that. No, his father and mother taught him that. That was instilled in him from a youth. Watch this. Jump over to verse 20.
Verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day.
Come on.
She bare it with a good courage.
She what?
She bare it with a good courage.
She bare it with a good courage. Where she think she learned that from? Where you think that was instilled in her from? From her husband. Read.
Because of the hope that she had in the Lord.
Because of the hope she had in the Lord. So understand that integration was a direct effect of destroying that black unity, that black family structure. Because that black family structure instilled in us what? A sense of us, and it helped us understand who our enemy was. Watch this. You could drop that one. Give me the next one. Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, play that. No,
I grew up in South.
No, drop that one. Drop that one. For time's sake. Yeah, that one right there.
In the black community, we were prepared by setting certain goals, objectives for ourselves. This was done primarily in the home, in the church, and in the school at that particular time because
it says we were prepared. We had morals set for us, goals set for us, and it was primarily took place in the home. Because why? You had a father and a mother, a black father and mother, in the church and in the schools. Play on.
Schools had a heavy reinforcement into our characters because
they were black schools had a heavy reinforcement into our character. Go ahead.
Schools were not integrated at that time. Do the best that you can with your life. You are unique. You have a contribution to make. You have something to offer. You have a talent. You have skills. Many, many other things that you do have. Go on out there into the world and get them. Don't stay here in Farmville. There's nothing here for you. It's a retired person's town, a little small place of this nature, but go on and develop.
I dropped that. The point was we had morals. This was family, because understand this, the beginning of a nation, of a community, it starts in the home with a mother, with a father and a mother and the children. That is the beginning of nationhood. Play that next one. Yeah, play that next one. It's a segregated versus integrated schools.
You started school, elementary school, in Terre Haute?
Yes, at Booker T. Washington.
And that was a segregated school?
Oh, yes.
Watch what she says.
Tell me about that experience.
It probably, looking back, it was probably the best school experience of my life.
Pause. She said that was the best school experience of her life. Why do you think that? She's going to say it. Go ahead.
All of my teachers were Negro. That's what we were called then. My 3rd grade teacher was Jane Dabney Shackelford. She wrote the very first book very first book about African American history for children. It's called The Child's History of the Negro. She was my third grade teacher.
Pause. This was her third grade teacher. Guess what example she's seen? Get that in Hosea. That's why it was the best experience, because of the exam. She's seen that. She writing books. It's my third. I'm in the third grade, and my teacher is a bestseller. She an author. She writing books. She the first to do it.
Hey, Cap, you see how influential she was to her life. Look how old she is, and she still can remember vaguely, what her name was, because she made that much of an impact to her life.
Get that, Hosea. Mm-hmm.
The book of Hosea, chapter 3, and verse 4.
Come on.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
Without a king, read.
And without a prince, and without a sacrifice.
Come on.
And without an image.
Without an image. What you don't understand, image is very crucial to us as a community. And our enemy understood that. And guess what integration did? Integration destroyed that image. That's what she's saying. It was the best time I ever had. That's the best school experience. Why? Because all my teachers was black. I seen people in certain positions. I had an image. I had something to look at to show, okay, damn, I ain't just nothing. You gonna say something, Cap?
And it ain't nothing wrong with wanting to have teachers or influencers or motivators or people that look like you teaching you. That gives you a sense of comfortability, relatability. Don't let these other nations tell you that, oh, you're a separatist, or you hate other people just because you feel more comfortable with your own people. They feel comfortable with their own people.
Yes, they do. Yep.
That's why you don't see no Edomites teaching in no dag East Indian schools and these private schools
Not
and
at
stuff
all.
like that Caucasians go to, because you're gonna feel more comfortable with your own people. There's nothing wrong with that. God made every race on earth. Of course you feel comfortable with your own people.
Hey,
go ahead.
And then something important, the name of the book she referenced, she said it's called a child's guide to Negro history.
Dang.
There was a children's was supposed to read that and remember hey, look, history. These are the things that happened. These are the things that took place. So very important, the child's guide to Negro history.
Somebody said online they got one copy on Amazon for $498.
Dang. You know some stuff in that book. Go back to the video.
My seventh grade teacher was John Wesley Lyda, Sr. He wrote the book, The Negro in Northern Indiana. Those are the kinds of teachers I had. It was a close-knit community in Terre Haute. So if you misbehaved in school, my teachers just stopped by the house on the way home.
Oh, he said it's a close-knit. If you misbehave in school, the teacher would just stop by the house. Neighborhood. This is what that's a nation. That's the family structure right there. It starts in the household, and then it branches out into what? The other institutions that set up, schools, things of that nature. To where now, okay, listen, you get morals set in you. I know I can't misbehave here because my teacher know my mama. The teacher live right up the street. She gonna stop by the house and tell everything. So I have to do right. You don't see that today. These other nations don't care about our kids, not the way we do. Play on.
And of course, back in those days, there weren't any child abuse laws. You know, we were whipped. My grandmother would give you a whipping.
You would get a whipping. Oh, pause that, because I can hear now, oh, they ain't whipping. Yeah, some of these kids need a whooping. Now, we ain't talking about that crazy stuff, because some of y'all cuckoo, and y'all be going to the extreme. Get that in Sirach 30.
Yes.
Read verse 1. I'll tell you, we integrated and then we wanted to start disciplining our kids like Esau. No. Nah. You got to discipline your kids like God said to do. Get that?
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 1.
Watch this, read.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
It says, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod. of correction, of rebuke. Watch this, read.
That he may have joy of him in the end.
It says that he might have joy of him in the end. In the end. So now when he grow up, he ain't a drug dealer. He got some sense of morals and fear of who? God. Read on.
He that chastises his son shall have joy in him.
He that chastises his son have joy in him, read.
And shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Watch this, read.
He that teacheth his son.
Because it ain't just beating him to a pulp. Because that's what some of y'all crazy. You get out of frustration. Because you feel like you can't control them. You abuse them. You beat them like crazy. No, it's rod and correction. You cause them off the field of rod and you teach them. It says, he that teacheth his son, read.
Grieveth the enemy.
Grieves the enemy. And that's what the other nations understood. That's why integration was pushed on our people. Because this sister right here, Barbara Sizemore, she became a teacher. She became a writer. She was one of the first African American women to head the public school system in a major city in Washington, D.C. Where do you think she's seen that at? From her 3rd grade teacher, from her 7th grade teacher, the image she had in front of her. That's why it says, he that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. They understood this. That's why integration was set to destroy and dismantle all of that. Read on.
And before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Read.
Though his father died,
read.
Yet he is as though he were not dead.
It says, though his father died, it's like the father didn't even die. Why? Because his son comes up in his stead. He got an avenger. You see him, everything that his father had, he poured into his son, and now he's a replica and an example of his father. That's what we seen in 2 Maccabees 7. That's how you know he had a daddy in the house being taught. The mother was teaching them. Read on.
For he hath left one behind that is like himself.
He hath left one behind that is like himself. Read on.
Now, verse 5. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him.
So that was it. Watch this. Go to Ephesians real quick. Ephesians chapter 5. Because like we said, the beginning of nationhood is what? Family. Man, woman, children. That's why Paul said this. Read that in Ephesians 5.
The book of Ephesians.
Start at verse 31.
Chapter 5, verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
This is marriage. This is a husband and a wife. A man shall leave father and mother and be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Watch this, read.
This is a great mystery.
Paul said this is a great mystery. Read.
But I speak concerning Christ and the church.
The same dynamics you see in a household with the husband and the wife is a representation of Christ and how he dealt with the church. You see that Christ and the church, that Christ in the body, the nation of Israel. He said, I speak a great misery, but I speak concerning Christ in the church. Because it starts where? In the household. Nationhood starts with the house, with the family. How a woman deals with her husband, how a husband deals with his wife, how they deal with the children. All that trickles down. And then you have a bunch of families now come together and build what? A nation. That's what she was just saying. She was like, shoot, my teacher come and stop by the house. And I guarantee you that teacher had a husband and had children and vice versa. Watch this. Drop that. Give me that next article. So with integration, understand this, Esau understood this. So now, watch this. That's not what I had. That's what I had. Drop that one, get the next one. Because that's just I ain't got time. It's going to explain, both articles explain the same thing. Scroll up. Scroll up. Dang, the picture ain't loading. I want the picture that's in that article. Dang, hold on, let me take a screenshot of it. Because we want the picture in that article. Because it's gonna show you something. You gonna say something, Kat?
Yeah, while you looking for that, what we got to do is get back to the Bible and actually applying it in our life.
Right.
That's going to change the trajectory that we have as a nation to be built back up. Give me that in Baruch because we've been teaching on the numerous platforms that we have about what we need to do as a people to get back to that rightful and glorious state. Baruch chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 30 on down.
The book of Baruch chapter 2 and verse 30.
Let me know when you're ready. Go
For
ahead.
I knew that they would not hear me. Because it is a stiff-necked people.
We've been hard-headed since the day God brought us out from the land of Egypt. Go ahead.
But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
It's why so much opposition in what we teach on the streets and in the different places that we're invited to speak on, whatever platform or social media you may see us on. It's an opposition of that because they are trying to, the powers that be are trying to keep us from remembering ourselves. Once we are able to remember who we are in this Bible, we'll get back to applying the principles that are in the Bible, and our situation will change. In a generation, you'll see more marriages amongst you. You see more sons growing up with fathers, daughters growing up with mothers that actually will teach them how they are supposed to conduct themselves. It's a staunch opposition, all for us to not remember ourselves. Don't let anybody tell you that your history and your past does not mean anything, because if that was the case, these other nations would have left their past and teach their kids to never remember the things that happened to them before. But that's not taught amongst them. They are built on foundational principles of their ancestors, and they are told, become better, become better, become better. Everyone except us. Facts. Because we're not supposed to remember ourselves, because they know who we are and how much better it would do us for a nation.
Hey, Cap, that's heavy. To this day, you still hear in school how George Washington chopped down a damn cherry tree.
Right.
To this day, they don't say, nah, that don't matter. That don't matter. Hey, but hey, pull this image up. So watch this. So with the welfare state in 1964, that great society, or all that within that that bill with the civil rights was encompassed, all that other stuff with the Great Society and the welfare state and Section 8 and all these benefits that black people cleave to. You had this man, I wanted to see the image. So you see the image right here. This is called Universe 25 experiment. You had a psychologist by the name of John B. Calhoun that he created the term. Tell you, what you gonna I'm glad you said that. What you gonna realize is a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists, they were put in place to study the minds of how to destroy black people. And that's what you have with this man right here. He came up with the term called behavioral sync. And that term was based off this right here. Now watch this. Go to University 25. Go to the website now and go to the introduction. Just be quick. Go to it.
Introduction. Universe 25 was a famous experiment conducted by American ethologist John B. Calhoun in the 1960s and 1970s.
The 1960s and 70s. Come on.
This experiment aimed to understand the effects of overpopulation on social behavior in rodents.
This experiment was aimed to understand the effects of overpopulation on social behaviors. That's why the scriptures say they shoot at the secret, they shoot secretly at the poor. They devise on iniquity upon their beds and they practice it. This is how they practice it. Through their experiments, through certain things they do. It says this experiment was to understand the effects of overpopulation. Scroll down to phase 4. It was in phases. This was phase 4 because it had a different phase of how he put it together. Matter of fact, go to phase 2. The creation of it, and just read structure 2.1, the Universe 25.
Structure and design Universe 25 was a 9-square-foot enclosure divided into 4 interconnected pens.
Oh, it had 4 interconnected pens, buildings. Read.
Each pen had food hoppers.
In these pens, the mice were given food and water.
Water dispensers and nesting boxes were available on each level.
And they had places to where that they could sleep, housing, nest, have children, things of that nature. Watch this.
The enclosure was designed to house up to 5,000 mice, providing them with everything they needed for survival.
So they had everything they needed for survival. So jump down to
Sound like food stamps.
it sounds like food stamps. Sounds like Planned Parenthood. It sounds like all these different agencies that were given to our people. WIC, all this different stuff. Watch this. Reverse. Go read 4. Go to 4, not the 4 phases. Jump down. 4. I want to get to the point because the third one broke down what he was looking for. But this is what it says behavioral changes observed in Universe 2025. 4.1.
Social breakdown.
Start at the guy as this experiment.
As this experiment progressed, several alarming behavioral changes were observed among the mice.
It says several alarming behavioral changes. Watch this, read.
4.1, social breakdown. Overcrowding led to a breakdown in social structures.
So the overcrowding, even though they had everything they needed, they had food, water, a place to stay, they had everything given to them. Read.
Mice became more aggressive.
It says overcrowding led to the mice being more aggressive. Read.
And their interactions became increasingly hostile.
And then all their interactions became increasingly hostile. I don't even know you, and now I'm hostile towards you. You know what we call that now? We call that a nigga moment. Read on.
Mothers abandoned their young.
Mothers did what?
Mothers abandoned their young.
Mothers abandoned their young. Read.
And infanticide became rampant.
And infanticide became rampant. I know that ain't a normal Negro word. So look up infanticide. It ain't just death. Look up the word infanticide. Just real quick, just new term. Look up the word infanticide. No, not in animals. I just said infanticide. Y'all pay attention. Just look up the word infanticide. Put it up there. Read it. Read the definition of it.
Infanticide, the crime of killing a child within a year of its birth.
Not just death, the crime of mother killing her child within a year of death. What do you call that today? Abortions.
What do we see amongst our women today, even out of abortion? They're killing their kids.
Yeah,
first
even that,
3 years of life, they killing their kids. This is crazy. That's a hell of an article.
Go
man.
back.
I need that one.
Go back. All right, go to point 2.
Violence and aggression. As the population grew, completion for space and social standing increased.
The completion for space and social standing increased. I got to be the HNIC. I got to be the head dude. Come on.
Leading to more violent behavior. Mice attacked each other, causing injuries and even death.
So the mice didn't go after the one that put them in that condition. They attacked each other. Read. Go to point 3.
The beautiful ones. Some mice dubbed the beautiful ones.
Some mice dubbed the beautiful ones. Watch this, read.
Withdrew from society.
They did what?
Withdrew from society.
They withdrew from society, read.
And focused solely on grooming and
They
eating.
focused solely on grooming and eating.
That sound like the video vixens.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That sound like
your
the baddies
models,
of the
your
world.
models,
Your
your video vixens. They withdrew from society. Because understand that social media causes you to what? Withdraw from society. And that's all you see on TikTok, Instagram is all women plastered all over, grooming, trying to make. That's all you see about.
And you never see them in public.
You never see them in public. Ever see them in public. This Esau, that's why it says the thought of every one of them is deep. Is deep, and they devise iniquity. Think about it. He did this experiment right around the time of what? Integration to study. Now, go back to that picture, the University 25 picture. Go back to it. So y'all see that right there, that picture right there. Now put up the other pictures. Y'all tell me what that if it don't look the same. Pull up. Zoom in. This is an aerial view of a project. Can they see that? Look at that. What that look like? 9 different blocks. In the middle, It looked just like it.
Look like
So where you
O-Block.
think they got?
Look like O-Block.
Where you think they got the information on the project, on what to do? These are, look at it. Now you might have thought that was a drawing. No, this is a real picture. Look at the projects. This is what they did. They understood. I'm telling you, Esau devised iniquity. They understood what they were doing. We need to break up the family structure. We need to break up the family unit. Past integration. Great society. Great, that project right there. Boom. Go to the next one.
Callio
Boom, right there.
That's South Los Angeles.
That's Los Angeles, all over America. And the same thing that those mice did, guess what we do? Leading the way all the way up to do. We hate one another. Get that in Hosea 4. We hate one another. We attack one another. We overly aggressive with each other. We kill one another. Our women, all they cared about is looks and appearance. They kill their babies. That's what we see. Esau understood that from an experiment they did with mice. That's why they said, you know what? We can put that into place because this is going to work. All right, create projects. Great society, all right, along with civil rights, make them integrated, give them the appearance of equality and inclusion. We're going to put the HUD Act. We're going to give them housing. We're going to have Section 8. We're going to give them food stamps. We're going to give them all this stuff. Because we know if we can overpopulate these areas, it's going to cause them to further go into decline. Get that Hosea 4.
The book of Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1.
Come on.
Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Read.
For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
It says the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land. Come on.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
There's no truth, nor mercy, or knowledge of God in the land. Because God told us to be separate from these other nations. Choose none of their ways. We decided, you know what, we want to integrate. We want to be, we want to choose all the ways of these other nations. And you see the fruits of the demise. Read on.
By swearing and lying.
Is that not happening in our communities? Swearing, lying, read.
And killing.
Is that not happening in our communities? Read.
And stealing.
And stealing. Is that, and we're going to touch on the stealing here in a minute. Not stealing happening in our communities.
And committing adultery. They break out and blood toucheth blood.
Blood toucheth blood. They understood, Esau understood that. Overpopulate blacks and they'll kill each other.
You mind if I get a script, Cap?
Hold on. Read on.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the land mourn.
Is not the land mourning? It says, therefore shall the land mourn. You see over and over black women getting up crying because their son got killed or got shot. Read on.
And everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field.
That's what's happening. Read.
And with the fowls of heaven, yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken.
Watch this.
Away.
Read verse 6.
Verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
And because of that, our people are destroyed for lack of God's commandments. That's what's happening. That's what you see in our communities. Read on.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
And we reject knowledge because we in these neighborhoods. We in the slums and in the ghettos. We go to where our people is at and we tell them keep God's commandments. And many of our people reject it. God said, because you reject knowledge, I will reject thee. So understand that all these things take place to our people. And Esau understood that. That's why you got this stuff happening in that. Play them videos. That's why this stuff is happening in now. Read that. Play those videos. Boom. That's blood touching blood. Rewind that back. How we go from prosperous neighborhoods to a sense of family to this. That ain't AI. That is real. And she got up. They got up and went and started fighting. Esau, hey, listen. Pause that. Esau did that experiment on them rodents, and they said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we know how to. We know what we can implement to destroy black people." And now that's what you see. Play the next one. Play the next one.
Buy was for one of the
Oh, play it from the top.
bottle is for one of the ops that we didn't put down.
The big bottles, that's
It says 1 bottle for each op. Look at the bottles. They are glorifying killing. That's how, and that's how ain't no father in any of them households. Nowhere. The black family structure has been destroyed. Esau understood that through integration. He understood he could destroy the black family. Were you gonna say something, Cap?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Cap. I mean, officers, Cap. Hey, give me that in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18.
Yes, sir.
You saw the experiments that you had with the rats, and then you see the correlation immediately with man of what Cap is showing. Watch this, Ecclesiastes 3:18.
the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 18.
Uh-huh.
I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men.
What did he say?
That God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
That they what?
Are beasts.
So they are beasts. Without the laws of God, what happens? Man will always resort to its lower nature. Yep. You will resort to violence. You will resort to killing each other. You will resort to killing your babies. That's why the laws of God are so important, that we follow these to the best of our ability and don't act on the flesh, because we will resort to our lower selves where we become like beasts. And Esau knows this. That's why the experiments they did on rats said, oh yeah, just give it to black folk, because the man's gone. They ain't got no laws to discipline them. Right. They will be just like these mice that's in this maze.
Yeah. And that's what we see. Play the next one. Play the next one. Look at that. Degeneracy.
Degeneracy. Watch this one in the light purple. I seen this before. Yep. Look at that. Right there. Look at that.
Look at it.
I'm so tired of taking D plan B. This won't stop.
I'm telling you, it's like you said, Cap, they revert to degeneracy. We glorify whoredom, we glorify murder. Play it on.
Please stop.
I gotta say something else, man. You done got me started.
I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you, integration was the worst thing for our people, because you see the fruits of it.
And this is why when you come across a lot of us in the streets, people that do not know they Israelites, you see us on these social medias and you're like, man, why are they so angry out there? Ecclesiastes 7:7 real quick. Why are they so angry? If that don't make you angry, that you see amongst your people that the women have become degenerates like that, the men are like that, and we're just all over the place with no order, no structure as a people, and you not angry, you're a part of the problem. That's why we go so hard. That's why we ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say when we on the streets, because you want that to continue amongst our people. If we continue going down a road like that, where are we going to be in 5 more years from now?
Facts.
We're going to be even worse off than we are now. So get that, Ecclesiastes 7:7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
If you ain't mad, God say you're a fool. You a fool if you okay with your people doing this and living their life like this and aborting their babies and being in prison and killing each other. You a fool if you like that, cause a wise man, that would have made him mad. So mad that he would have did something. And you know what you gonna do? Man, let me teach them what God said.
Exactly.
Because God go against all this stuff. The best way that we can have as a people is to do what God say. Because as that lady said back in 1986, she said, ain't nothing going to change our community or teenage pregnancy except the morals of God. Our ancestors knew this, man. Go ahead, Cap.
I'll play the next one.
And I realized, like, maybe I got these kids in survival mode. I don't know.
Now the women are teaching this. I got these kids in survival mode. No, you got these kids stuck on stupid. They on a road to destruction. Crash test dummies. Play on.
I think so. I'm always saying be tough, keep it going. You know, don't express yourself to nobody. Whatever you want, you can get.
Look at
all of
look
that.
At that. Look at the image. It's the image. This is the image that our black women and black daughters have now. Get that in Ezekiel. You're in the spirit. Get that, Ezekiel 16. And then after that, give me Isaiah 3. Now, you can take that off the screen. I'm telling you, Esau is playing on a whole other playing field when it comes to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why God's laws is the only thing that can save our people. Get that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee.
Come on.
Saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
As is the mother, so is her daughter. Why? Because she's teaching her all her ways through her example, through what she say, how she move. Read on.
Verse 45. Thou art thy mother's daughter.
Read.
That loatheth her husband and
that's what you
her
see
children.
With our community today. The black woman hates the black man. It says, you are of your daughter that loathe her husband. Read.
And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathed their husbands.
And guess what? Northern Kingdom, you ain't exempt too. You move the same way. You are the sister of your sister who loathed her husband. Watch this. Get Isaiah 3. Read verse 12. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12.
The book of Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12.
Come on.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
And that's what you see. As for my people, children oppress us. He had a bottle for every op. They the ones, these YNs in the streets, gang banging, overly aggressive. Can't say nothing to them. Hostile. It was by design. Read on.
And women rule over them.
And it's because women rule over them. Because ain't no father in the home. And if there is a father in the home, he weak simp. Read on.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
It says, they which lead thee cause thee to err. Read.
And destroy the way of thy path.
And that's what you see amongst our people. That's what you see amongst our people. So yes, no, integration was detrimental to our people. Because that was the point. It says it broke up the black family structure, collapsed. And that's what you see through their policies, through their procedures. All right, the next point, we're going to speed through these last three. It says the next point, it says black men unemployment. The unemployment of black men skyrocketed in integration. So you should already see how, as the picture was painted, because black wealth got declined, the black family structure declined, the man can't be in the household now because of the freaking aid to family, WIC and Section 8 and all these other things. It's a particular one. It's the welfare. It's the AFDC. The family can't be in, the man can't be in the house. Now there's no more black businesses. So and he can't find a job. So guess what he begins to do? Get that, Ephesians. Get that in Ephesians chapter 8, chapter 4, verse 28.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 28.
All this further pushed our people into a state of decay. Read.
Let him that stole steal no more.
That's what happens when you can't get a job. You can't find, your unemployment rate skyrockets. What do you do? What does a man begin to do? Steal. Go out and get it. Rob, murder. And the scriptures say he that let him that stole what?
Steal no more.
Read.
But rather let him labor.
Let him labor. That's how you counteract stealing, working. Esau understood though. Okay, yeah. We need to have them integrate. We're gonna destroy the black family. We're gonna destroy the black businesses. Ain't no money amongst them. So guess what? When they ain't got nothing to turn to, guess what? They gonna rob and steal and murder and kill one another. Crime is gonna skyrocket. Get that in Proverbs 30, read verse 9. Proverbs 30, verse 9. All these facets come from us wanting to be amongst the other. That's why God said, and we read in the beginning, they separated themselves. And we're gonna go to the book of Nehemiah and read the same thing happened during the time of the Persians and Medes. The same spirit these other nations had. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 9. Lest I be full and deny.
Start at verse 8.
Verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies.
Remove far from me vanity and lies. Read.
Give me neither poverty nor riches.
Solomon's let you know, let you know, understand something. And he's praying, he's telling God, give me neither poverty nor riches. Why? Read.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
Give me enough that's convenient for me. Read.
Lest I be full.
Lest I be full.
And deny thee.
You see this amongst our people. They get on a high status. They get full because they get pulled out of society by Esau and paid millions of dollars to keep us destroyed. They're full, and what do? They deny God. Read.
And say, who is the Lord?
Who is the Lord? I'm rich. I ain't impoverished. I ain't in poverty. I'm rich. Read.
Or lest I be poor.
Or lest you be poor. What?
And steal.
Solomon's letting you know, when you're poor, you're more inclined to what? Steal. Esau understood that. Esau understood that. Okay, if we can keep these black men unemployed, they're gonna steal. And then guess what? When they steal, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna push them right into the prison. So we take them out of their own schools. Where, remember, the lady said, "Shoot, if I got in trouble, they went and told my parents." We put them in these integrated schools where the teachers don't give a damn about them, and then they gonna grow up to be thugs. And when they get out of school, they can't get a job. They gonna steal, kill, and murder. I tell you, they got us in a trick bag. Play that next video. Watch. All of it ties together.
Prisons. It's not about crime. Not really. There's something
Turn it
called
up.
predictive modeling. It's simple.
Turn it up and play it from the beginning.
You ever wonder how they choose where to build prisons? It's not about crime. Not really. There's something called predictive modeling. It's simple, sinisterly simple. They take test scores, mostly reading scores, 3rd grade. They plug them into a system, and the system...
Pause. It says they take reading scores from the 3rd grade. 3rd grade. Understand, I'm telling you, get that in Psalms real quick. No, yeah. I know we read 64, but we didn't go there. Yeah, we didn't read 6. Read 6.
The book of Psalm, chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities.
That's what we're seeing. That was what we seen with the Universe 25 experiment, the rodent. That's the same thing we're here. They search out iniquities. It says they took test scores from when you was in the 3rd grade. Read.
They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
They accomplish a diligent search. And as we read up in the chapter earlier, that whole search is to what? Shoot at the perfect secret in secret. To lay snares for the poor. Read on.
Both the inward thought of every one of them.
Of every one of them. Every one of the so-called white man. Esau, read.
And the heart is deep.
Is deep. They think long term. So go back to that video. Play that.
Got a map. If enough kids in a certain zip code can't read at grade level by age 8, that neighborhood gets flagged. Not for support, not for funding, for future incarceration.
Dang!
They don't send tutors, they send architects. Blueprints start rolling, land gets bought up cheap. The prison contracts start before the kids even hit puberty. And it's quiet, because folks think prison gets built where the crime is. But in truth, they get built where the system expects people to fail. Companies invest in it, politicians profit off it. It's a business, and the business need customers.
Dang. Pause. It says the business, and the business needs customers. Understand this. They put their policies in. They understand, okay, yeah, if we do this, we do that, we're going to have them in a trick bag. They build prisons where the test scores are low. And they don't send tutors for help. They send the architects. That's what I said. They search out iniquities. The heart of every one of them is deep because they know if they break up the family system, they tear down the black wealth, black men can't get a job. They know, okay, he gonna steal, rob, and murder. And guess what? The example he gonna leave for his children to do the same thing. The same thing. Understand that. So now, the next point. You gonna say something, Cap?
Hey, I got something, Cap.
Go ahead.
Give me Isaiah 42 and 22. Just to go right along with this video and what you got going on, Cap. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 22.
The book of Isaiah chapter 42 verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
100%.
So we're talking about Israel being a people that is robbed and spoiled. Read.
They are all of them snared in holes.
So they all snared in holes. That's the policies. Those are the things that are set up against us. Those are the snares and holes. Read.
And they are hid in prison houses.
And we are hid in prison houses. The same system that teaches us in the elementary schools up until the point where we're grown men. We are hidden in the prison homes because that's been programmed in our mind.
Right. 100%.
That's how we gotta survive. Like I said, I'm trying to teach them how to survive. No, you're teaching them how to be beasts in the streets. But it said they are hidden in prison houses. Read.
They are for prey, and none deliver it.
And none delivered. All right, so
that's what it goes into. They don't send the tutors.
Right, they don't send no tenant. They don't send tutors. They send architects.
They send architects. None say deliver.
Right, and that's where you got that. What we got here on the east side, they have the Renaissance party, make you feel good. Hey, we're gonna rebuild the hood. No, they gonna kick your ass out.
That's what the rebuilding ain't for black people. Understand that gentrification ain't for you. All right, so I dropped that. So now the fourth point in that video was the myth of a colorblind society. Now, when they say colorblind society, they don't mean you can't see color. They want you to be blind to your own color. That's what they mean by a colorblind society. They want you to be blind to your color, your heritage. Get that? John 3, and this is how they do it. John 3:16. This is how they do it. Through their Christianity, through their policies, integration. Now we want to be in their churches. Now we want to be amongst them, and they hate your guts. Because this is what they say. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world.
God so loved the world. God is colorblind. Amen. God so loved the world. Read.
Amen. That he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
And they use that to now deceive you into thinking God is colorblind. So now you say, oh, well, everybody, we got to be around each other. Now realizing Christ wasn't speaking to nobody but his people. Get that in Matthew 15:24, and then we'll explain what John 3:16 is. Because they will read John 3:16 and then negate Matthew 15 and 24. Read that.
The book of Matthew chapter 15 verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Christ was sent to his nation, his people. So the world he was talking about was the Israelites. Get that, Isaiah 45. Yes, we're going to go to Isaiah 45 and 17. Yes, we're going to go to the Old Testament. Yes. We don't care what you think. You dumb apologetics. You know what he say? Oh, they go to Isaiah 40. They go to the Old Testament. Yes. Yes. Because Christ taught from the Old Testament. Read that, Isaiah 45:17.
The book of Isaiah chapter 45 verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
But who?
But Israel shall be saved in the Lord.
Israel shall be saved in the Lord. Come on.
With an everlasting salvation.
With an everlasting salvation. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed.
Think about it. It says with an everlasting salvation. Did that end now? Does everlasting end? No. Everlasting does not end. Read.
Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
It says world without end.
No, brother, you got to go to the Greek and
you got to go to the Septuagint and the lexicon.
Read the other translations, and it means something different.
Now watch this. Go to John real quick. Go back to John. Go to chapter 12, though. Because our forefathers understood who the world was. They wasn't colorblind, like you try to say. They understood who Christ was talking about. Get that in John 12. Start at verse 9.
The book of John, chapter 12, and verse 9. Much people of the Jews, therefore, knew that he was there.
They knew that Christ was there. Verse 11. Start at verse 11.
Verse 11.
So Christ rose Lazarus from the dead, and many of the Jews seen it. But watch this, read.
Because that by reason of him, many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus.
It says many of the Jews went away and believed on Jesus. Now watch this. Jump down to verse 19.
Matter
of fact, start at verse 18.
Verse 18.
Watch how the Pharisees, you listen to the wording of the Pharisees, because up in the verse it says many of the Jews went away and believed on him because of the miracles, him raising Lazarus from the dead. Watch this, read.
For this cause the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle.
Done what miracle? Raising Lazarus from the dead. Read on.
The Pharisees therefore said among themselves.
The Pharisees said amongst themselves, read.
Perceive ye how ye prevail nothing?
Perceive how ye prevail nothing. Y'all ain't did nothing to stop this dude. Read.
Behold, the world.
The what?
The world.
The what?
The world.
What did they call the Jews? The world. Read.
Is gone after him.
It's gone after him. They understood who the world was. Watch this. Who also was amongst the world that were called Jews? Read.
Verse 20. And there were certain Greeks.
There were what?
And there were certain Greeks.
They understood who it was talking about. Those Greeks were called Jews up in the verse. Showing you what? That the world, they understood who the world was. They understood who the Greeks was. They understood all this. But what does Christianity want you to do? Christianity wants you to be colorblind to your own race. Christianity wants you to forget who you are as a nation of people. Understand the trick bag of integration. All that was a part of it. Because remember, we played the video earlier of the woman. She said, listen, the man, he said morals were established in the household, in the school, and in the church. Understand that we were all about ourselves. But what did Esau do? He brought integration to cause you to forget who you are according to the Bible. To where now you look at them as their God, and all their ways are pure, and you are nothing but a Gentile. You ain't nothing but a nigga, spick, coon, and you should be happy that they took you from the shores of Africa and civilized you. Play that next video.
You have demonized your own traditions and your own. You have demonized.
It says Christianity made you hate being black. Play it.
Your own traditions and your own spirituality and your own gods and entities, and you have been programmed to disgrace your heritage and your ancestry, and you are willing to even give up your name and identity and mother tongue just so that you can fit into their squares, in their circles,
Dang.
their triangles.
It says you demonize your own traditions, own religions, you give up your own identity just to fit into their squares and triangles. It says you've been programmed to do that. How were you programmed? Through Christianity. Christianity has programmed our people to hate ourselves, to hate how we look. Understand this. That's why they put up an image. Get the image of the prisoner. Get him. Bring forth the prisoner. Get the prisoner. Y'all should have that image. It's not, I didn't send it to you. Give me the image of the beast. Give me the image of the beast. Because this is how they do it. They put this image up, and now everything you see is right, good, and holy, you see in this image right here. Yep, right there. Put that on the screen. That image right there. That's what you see. And now you think, okay, all right, white is right. Not realizing Christ looked like you. Get that. Revelations 1. Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, and verse 14.
Come on.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Come on.
As white
that
as
image ain't got woolly hair. You blacks and Hispanics, you got woolly hair. Listen, if our people understood that Christ had hair like them, they would probably be more conscious of their own hair texture and not freaking bleach it and blonde it and perm it to obliterate. That's what they do. I'm telling you. They fry, dyed, and lay it to a side till there ain't no more left to fry. I'm telling you. Dang, at 2? Say that on the mic. You got to say that on the mic.
My sister had a perm. At 2 years old.
At 2? The hair follicle ain't even fully developed at 2 years old.
A baby still got a soft spot.
You still got soft, like the skull ain't even fully put in place. At 2?
When I got older, I asked about it. I got older. They was like, no, it was a soft perm. It wasn't a hard perm. I'm like, it was a perm.
It's a perm. It don't matter if it's soft, hard, medium. It's still. But that shows you the level of self-hatred. And how integration caused that. Cause us to hate ourselves and love their wealth and love their images and love everything and their traditions and everything they have. Finish that.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Come on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
It says Christ's feet, the color of his skin was like fine brass. Read.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if it burned in a furnace. That is a black man. So they go ahead, Cap.
And we want to put this out there for all you pathetics that are going to be watching this class, because we know we give you life. There's no reason for you to
only
wake
exist
up.
because of us.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to wake up unless we doing the work of God. We challenge you to please break down all of that symbology.
Right.
All of them similitudes of his hair and his feet of brass, and make sure you break down the long garment.
Right.
Make sure you break down the golden girdle as well, and make sure you break down the red eyes that he has too. Make sure you break all that down, sis. All of that is his glorified state,
his glorified
and that
body.
symbology. Please break it down, because
break down that to
we don't never see you break it. Oh, no, he ain't black. Well, what it mean? It just means he's not black. We'll break it down then. The challenge is on you pathetics.
All right, watch this. Get 2 Maccabees 4. 2 Maccabees 4, read verse 7. Because all of that causes us to what? To love, to glorify and love the glory of them more than ourselves. Get that 2 Maccabees. And you see the same thing in history. 2 Maccabees 4, read verse 7.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 7.
Come on.
But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus called Epiphanes took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
So you had Jason, the brother who labored underhand to become high priest. This was during the Greek captivity. He went underhand to his oppressors to become ruler, high priest over the people. Watch this, read.
Promising unto the king.
He promised unto the king, read.
By intercession 360 talents of silver. And of another revenue, 80 talents.
He promised to give him money. Read.
Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have a license to set him up a place for exercise.
He went and got a license, a permit to be able to set up a place of exercise. He went to the king. Hey, set this up, and I can bring even more revenue. That place of exercise is the same thing you see today with our people. That gymnasium, all that, the Greekish fashions. Your football field, all that, glorifying their traditions. Read on.
And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen.
And the whole purpose of it was to train up the youth in the fashions of the heathen. Guess what? You see the same thing today with the policies and what's put in place to train up the youth in the fashions of the heathen. What you gonna say something?
That's a good point right there, because you know what I have noticed in the black neighborhoods is that you don't see as many YMCAs for kids to go there for after school They took the after school programs away.
All that.
And what they replaced it with? Basketball courts.
Basketball courts.
It's basketball courts in the hoods now. Football fields getting remodeled, but they took away the after school programs. This is the training them up in Greek fashions.
Yep. Guess what? All that started happening when? Segregation. Right after segregation. They enforced integration. And guess what happened? They started taking all that stuff out of the neighborhoods. But watch this, read on. Because the whole point of it was, jump down to verse 15.
Verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their fathers.
So all those things was put in place, and they didn't set by the honors of their fathers. But watch this, read.
But liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
And that's what you see with our people. That's what Christianity teaches us, to glorify and like the glory of the Grecians best of all. That was one of the points, that integrations makes a colorblind society, which it ain't a colorblind society. It's be blind to your own color, your own. And when we say color, we ain't talking about an actual color in the crayon box. It's going into your own nation, your own heritage, your own traditions, the philosophies, this Bible, and to like their traditions, what they give you best of all. That's what it said. Read that verse again.
Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
It says they like the glory of the Grecians best of all. And because of that, read.
By reason whereof.
By reason, liking the glory of the Grecians over the honor of their father, read.
Sore calamity came upon them.
Sore calamity came upon them. And you see that amongst our community today. Think about it. The Christian church has been in the black community for hundreds of years. And we've only gotten worse and worse and worse. It says sore calamities came upon them, read.
For they had them to be their enemies and avengers.
It says because they had them to be the enemies and avengers. Read on.
Whose customs they followed so earnestly.
It says whose customs they follow so earnestly. We earnestly follow after all these traditions and customs that was given to us. We wanted to integrate so bad. We earnestly follow it. We've earnestly followed they pagan holidays, like the one that was just last night, that wicked Halloween. And guess what? Christianity don't speak against it. They bring it into the church. They bring it into the church. Understand that? Read on.
And unto whom they desired to be like in all things.
And our people desire to be like the other nations in all things. That's why our women blonde their hair. Black men smooth their face, bald-headed, dress a certain type. They join the Greek fraternities. We want to be like the other nations in all things. Watch this. Was that it on that?
Yep.
All right, drop that. Get Sirach 26. Not only that, we take wives of the other nations. Understand this. Watch this. Sirach 26. That myth of colorblindness. Oh, it teaches you to hate yourself.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26.
And your people. And to love them. Read that.
Verse 19. My son, keep the flower of thine age sound.
It says, my son, keep the flower of thine age sound. The flower of your age is talking about your wife. And your wife is supposed to be a woman of your nation, not a strange woman. It's going to say that, read.
And give not thy strength to strangers.
You ain't supposed to give your strength to strangers, marrying women of the other nations. Why is that, read?
Verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field.
It says when you've gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, read.
Sow it with thine own
seed. It says sow it with thine own seed. But integration has taught us what? Oh, no, God loved everybody. Christianity has taught us what? Oh, man, listen, everybody is a children of God. Listen, you can be with whoever you want to be with. The Bible says sow it with thine own seed. Read.
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
We're supposed to trust in the goodness of our stock. We had a sense of that 50 years ago. We had a sense of that in the early 1900s, trusting in our good stock. We stayed amongst each other. But integration came, and what? Now we want to be amongst. Rush this, read on.
So thy race.
So thy what?
So thy race.
What you going to understand about the Bible, God is all about race. God is all about nation, and races and nations staying with their own race and nation. It says, so thy race, read.
Which thou leavest.
Which you leave behind.
Shall be magnified.
That's how it's magnified. But they want you to believe, oh, we all equal. That's why the dude said earlier, it says segregation is integration is just another form of segregation. It was a way, it was a modified form of segregation that was used to continue to destroy you. Because right here it says when you keep the flower of your age sound, you take your wife, you sow your seed, you sow the seed amongst your own. It says your race is magnified. Magnified. So drop that. The fifth point was the black community became dependent. So we see that amongst our people because of the lack of the laws of God, because of the lack of keeping God's commandments, love thy neighbor as thyself. Marriage isn't honorable anymore. We don't have our own school systems, all these things. We are now come dependent, and God said that was going to happen. Get that Deuteronomy 28. Read verse 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
Start at verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
We're supposed to serve the Lord our God with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. In all things, we're supposed to serve the Lord. In all things. Read on.
Therefore, shalt thou serve thine
Because
enemies.
we don't want to do that, now we have to serve our enemies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against
And
thee.
God sent them against us. Read.
In hunger.
And hunger, everything. Everything we want, we go to where? We go to the other nations. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst, read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness.
And in want of all things.
In want of all things, we are dependent on the other nations. Think about it. If they cut the water off, they shut down the grocery stores. You've seen a little bit of it in COVID. Pandemonium. Our people didn't know what to do. Think about it. Hold on, what's today? Today is November 1st. Uh-oh. Hey, a lot of y'all about to feel this right now. You wanted to integrate so bad. You got them food stamps. You thought it was good. Now they cut it off. Now what you gonna do? Now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm telling you. Read on.
And in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed
And
thee.
when he took our heritage, our nationality, beat it out of us, he took them yokes of iron off of us because we were destroyed as a people. Get that? Lamentations 4:17. I'll tell you, a lot of people don't know what to do today. Get that? Lamentations 4, read verse 17.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17.
Come on.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
We fail for a vain help. We look to these other nations, but God said it's vain help. Read.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
This nation cannot save us. But time and time again, we want to integrate. We want to be amongst them. We want to be equal with them, thinking that they have our best interest in hand. No, we just showed and we just went through the history and showed. No, they don't. Everything they've done has been to destroy the black and Hispanic man and woman. Everything they have done, northern and southern kingdom. Listen, they cannot save us, nor do they want to save us. Read on.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Come on.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. You see it all throughout our communities. But we still look to a nation. As for us, our eyes fail for vain help. Watch this. Go to Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah 31, verse 6. No, not Jeremiah, I'm sorry. Isaiah 31, verse 6.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, and verse 6.
Watch this.
Turn ye unto him.
That's what we must do. We must turn unto God. It says, turn ye unto him. Read.
From whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted.
Deeply. And we see the depths of how we've revolted from God. How we love these other nations so much. The depths of our revolting of God. The Bible says, turn ye unto him. Because when you examine the state of blacks and Hispanics in today's times, we are lawless, we are degenerate people, and we have been taught to hate everything about ourselves and to love and embrace everything this system has set up for us. Understand that. And it all stems from because we don't want to keep God's commandments. We don't want to apply the commandments God have given us. And watch this. And it ain't no different. We read examples of it in the Bible. Get Nehemiah. Watch real quick. Nehemiah chapter 2. Everything we just went through, you see examples in the Bible. Remember, we read earlier, the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning. That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Watch this. Nehemiah 2. We're going to go through this quick. Nehemiah 2, start at verse 4. We're going to jump around Nehemiah.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 2, and verse 4. Then the king said unto me, for what dost thou make request?
So Nehemiah, he worked for the king. He was the cupbearer. He came to the king to request. He's seen the state of his people, and he came to the king to make a request. Watch this, read.
So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant had found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it.
So he said, hey, I want to go back to Judah, to my father's sepulchre, and build it. Read.
Verse 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be?
He said, how long thy journey be? Read.
And wilt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time.
Hey, this right here is show you too, for you dumb apologetics, that Isaiah 14 did not happen during the Persian and Mede captivity. Because why is Nehemiah having to ask the king for leave? because this is who we work for, to go back if that happened already and they in the land and possess us. Tell y'all, you keep listening to dumb apologetics you want to. Was that it on that read?
Verse 7, moreover, I said unto the king, if it please the king, let us be given me to the governors beyond the river.
So that was it. Watch this. Jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14.
Now watch what Nehemiah did. Read.
Then I went on to the gate of the fountain and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass.
Now, we're going through the book of Nehemiah to show you how Nehemiah understood segregation, to be separate from the other nations. But you're going to see the spirit behind how the other nations move, and they do the same thing today. They implement certain things because they understand if they can get up in there, they can keep us destroyed. Watch this, read on.
Verse 15. Then went I up in the night by the brook and viewed the wall, and turned back and entered by the gate of the valley.
So he went up and viewed the wall, read.
And so turned. And the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it unto the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work.
Come on.
Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in.
He says, ye see the distress that we are in. He's seen the distress of his people. Read.
How Jerusalem lieth waste.
Come on.
And the gates thereof are burned with fire.
The gates thereof are burned with fire. Read.
Come, and let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach.
So he wanted to build the walls up of Jerusalem so that they were no more in reproach. Read on.
Then I told them of the hand of my God which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work.
So all the people strengthened their hands to this good work. To what? To build up the walls of Jerusalem. To have their own. They came together as a nation. Read.
But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant the Ammonite and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn.
When they heard it, they laughed us to scorn. The other nations said, oh, y'all want to build them up? They laughed them to scorn. Watch this, read.
And despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do? Will you rebel against the king? Then answered I them and said.
Watch what Nehemiah said to them. They said, what y'all doing? Will you rebel against the king? Read.
The God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build.
He said we will arise and build. But watch this, read.
But ye have no portion.
But ye, you other nations, ye have no what?
No portion.
You have no portion, read.
Nor right.
Nor right.
Nor memorial.
Nor memorial.
In Jerusalem.
You ain't got no business being amongst us. You ain't got no business building with us. You ain't got no business even being a part of us. Nehemiah understood segregation. He understood that was what was beneficial for our people, and these heathen ain't nothing but trouble. They ain't got no right amongst us. And we're going to see that as we go through. Watch this. Jump over to chapter 4. Watch this, verse 1.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, and verse 1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall.
So they went through. He heard that they builded the wall. Watch this, read.
He was wroth and took great indignation and mocked the Jews.
It said he was mad. He took great indignation and mocked the Jews. He got mad. Why? Because they built. Understand this. Anytime we come together as a nation of people, whenever we want to build something and stop the degeneracy in our neighborhoods, these other nations get mad. They mock us.
And sometimes they'll pay your own people to do it.
Yes.
Like
Drewski. Oh, we gonna see it. As we go through this history, you're gonna see it all line up. And that's a heavy point. It says they was mad and he mocked them. Watch this, read.
And he spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and said, what do these feeble Jews?
He said, what do these feeble Jews, read?
Will they fortify themselves?
They're going to fortify themselves. Understand this. Esau thought the same thing when he released us out of in slavery. When they emancipated us, they was like, oh, they feeble. These feeble Jews. But what did we do? We began to build. We began to come amongst each other. We began to unify and build up. And we had a better economic system than they did. We have more prosperous towns and cities than they did. So this is the spirit of these other nations. They destroy us and then they look, oh, what y'all gonna build up? These feeble Jews. Watch this, read on.
Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in a day?
Come on.
Will they receive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned?
Come on.
Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone
He said,
wall.
whatever they build, a fox gonna be able to break that down. Look, they ain't nothing. Look at it. They ain't gonna be able to come up out of that rubble. Not without us. Not amongst themselves. Because remember, Nehemiah just told them, listen, you ain't got no portion with us, nor right in Jerusalem. Read on.
Verse 4. Hear, O our God, for we are despised, and turn their reproach upon their own head.
Watch. It says we are despised. And to this day, we're still despised when we come and try to what? Wake our people up out of the decayed state. Rebuild the breach that's happened in Jerusalem. Try to change the minds of our people. It says we are despised, read.
And give them for a prey in the land of captivity.
Come on.
And cover not their iniquity. And let not their sin be blotted out from before
them.
So
you see they mock us. Watch this. Jump over to chapter 5, verse 1.
Verse 1. Chapter 5, verse 1. And there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. For there were there.
So now I want you to see, now amongst our people, there was dissension in certain things taking place. Watch this. 5 and 1.
Verse 1. And there was a great cry of the people and of their wives.
And of their wives, read.
Against their brethren, the Jews.
Watch this, read.
For there were that said, we, our sons and our daughters are many. Therefore we take up corn for them, that we may eat and live.
Read.
Some also that were there that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses, that we might buy corn because of the dearth.
Because of the dearth, read. It says, so you had certain people amongst us that had mortgaged their houses, mortgaged their land because of the hard times. Read on.
There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute.
To pay our taxes, read.
And that upon our lands and vineyards.
Read.
Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren.
They were going through it. Watch this. Jump down to verse 7. Watch what Nehemiah did. Read.
Verse 7. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles.
He said he rebuked the nobles. Why did he rebuke the nobles? You're going to see, read.
And the rulers, and said unto them, ye exact usury, every one of his brothers.
Because they wasn't dealing right with the people. They were in cahoots. These nobles and rulers, they were in cahoots with the other nations as we read on. And they were robbing the people. They were applying usury upon the people, which caused them to be what? To wax poor and dearth. The same thing you see today. We integrated with these other nations, and what began to happen? You have certain of us in these Christian churches, these politicians, that the boule, that exact usury, that press upon our people to make us poor and poor. The same thing was happening during the time of Nehemiah. Watch this, read on.
And I set a great assembly against them.
Read.
And I said unto them, we have our ability, have redeemed our brethren, the Jews.
It says, and he said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brothers, the Jews. Read.
Which was sold unto the heathen.
Read.
And will ye even sell your brethren?
It says, we come together, you going to sell them back? We just redeemed them from the heathen. You want to go back? Read on.
Or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace.
They ain't had nothing to say because they knew they was wrong. Watch this. Jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14.
Matter of fact, read verse 11.
Verse 11. Restore, I pray you, to them, even this day, their lands.
He told all them nobles, restore their land. Give it back to them. Because it was all about us being together and having all things common. Read on.
Their vineyards, their olive yards, and their houses, also the 100th part of the money, and of the corn, the wine, and the oil that ye exact of them.
Now watch this. Jump down to verse 4. Read 14 and 15. This is what
14.
type of leader Nehemiah was. Read.
Moreover, from the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, from the 20th year even unto the 32nd year of Artaxerxes the king, that is 12 years, I and my brethren have not eaten the bread of the governor.
He didn't eat the bread of the government. He didn't do like the nobles was doing and extract usury. He understood nation building. He didn't eat the bread that he got from the governor. Read on.
But the former governors that had been before me were chargeable unto the people.
He said the people before him were chargeable unto the people. That's why the people had waxed poor. They mortgaged their lands to pay their taxes. They mortgaged their lands to try to get by. You see the same thing with our people today. Nehemiah said, no, we ain't going to do that. We're going to keep it in-house. I ain't going to be like the former governors. Read on.
And had taken of them bread and wine beside 40 shekels of silver.
Dang.
Yea, even their servants bear rule over the people. But so did not I, because of the fear of God.
He said, I didn't do that because of the fear of God. He understood. He seen the decay of his people, and he went to build. Watch this. Jump down, go to chapter 6, verse 17. But within all that, watch this, read.
Verse 17, Nehemiah 6, verse 17. Moreover, in those days, the nobles of Judah sent
your bourgeoisie,
the
nobles of Judah, the Herodians you read in the New Testament, and today, that's your bourgeoisie. Read on.
Sent many letters unto Tobiah.
They sent letters to the other nations. Tobiah was of the other nations. They sent letters to him. Read on.
And the letters of Tobiah came unto them. For there were many in Judah sworn unto him.
There were what?
Many in Judah sworn unto him.
Because they wanted to be integrated with the other nations. Nehemiah was all about segregation because he's seen what integrating amongst these other nations did to our people. We were in the decayed state. They were destroying, robbing us. He said, no, that's why he told Sanballat, Tobiah, and them, listen, you ain't got no portion with us. You ain't got no business being here. Watch this. Jump over to chapter, what was that? Chapter 13. Chapter 13, verse 1. We almost done. Chapter 13, verse 1.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter.
So now, as you fast forward, all that was happening. He got the other nations up out of there. He kept the dollar within. He restored the people's lands back that was being abused by the ones that was in league with the other nations. He restored that nationhood. Then he had to go back. Remember, we read in chapter 2, he was only on leave for a time. He had to leave and go back. Watch what happened.
Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 1.
Read.
On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people. And therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever.
They read, okay, dang, these nations ain't supposed to be amongst us either. Read.
Because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit, our God turned the curse into a blessing.
Read.
Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude.
So they heard the law and they separated from all the mixed multitude because they still had other nations coming amongst them. Watch this, read.
And before this.
Before what? Before they heard the law and separated from the mixed multitude. He's about to explain it. Before they heard this, they had the other nations amongst them. And watch what happened. Read.
Eliashib the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was allied unto Tobiah.
Nehemiah came and segregated them. He left. What did they do? They integrated again. Read on.
Verse 5. And he had prepared for him a great chamber.
And he prepared for him a great chamber, read.
Where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites.
They went back to doing the same thing they was doing. He took all that stuff that was supposed to go to the Levites and gave it to the heathen. Read on.
And the singers and the porters and the offerings of the priests. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem.
He said, but the whole time I wasn't there. I wasn't in Jerusalem. Remember, they had the bourgeoisie, them demons, they had allied because they wanted to integrate so bad. And when you read, the integration was always a detriment during this time of Nehemiah to our people. And it always caused us to go back into sin, the same thing you see today in this captivity. Understand this, Esau learns, he goes and studies other nations and other times throughout history to see what he can extract to keep us destroyed on how the nations dealt with us. Read on.
For in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king.
So now he got leave to come back. And when he came back, what did he find, read?
And I came to Jerusalem and understood of the evil that Eliashib did for Tobiah.
He said, I seen the evil. You see what the Bible calls it? Evil that he did. What were you going to say, Captain?
Yeah, just back in chapter 4, verse 11. Read it real quick. It'll show you real quick. Same thing. Yep. 4 and 11.
Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 11. And our adversary said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause the work to cease.
Because that's the whole point. They want to come in, destroy us, and cause the work to cease. Understand that. That was the whole purpose of integration. That was the whole purpose. Because understand this, the only thing, remember, back then we had a sense of unity. We had a sense of purpose. We understood who the enemy was. And then guess what? They understood, okay, if the commandments of God come in, oh, shoot, no, we got to break all that up. Because that's a detriment to us because they want the work to cease. Go back 13.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 7.
Read.
And I came to Jerusalem and understood, verse 8.
He said, I came to and understood the evil, read.
That Eliashib did for Tobiah, in preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God.
It was to the point they prepared him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. Read on.
And it grieved me sore. Therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber.
Now jump down to verse 23.
Verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod.
He cleaned it all up when he came back. What were they? They were back integrated. The same thing you see today. They were bringing the heathen into the chambers in the house of God, giving them the provision for the Levites. He also saw men marrying strange wives of Ashdod and Moab. Read.
And of Ammon and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language.
They didn't even know their own language. They could only speak in the language of Ashdod. Read.
But according to the language of each people.
Of each people. And guess what that does? That kills any. As that child grows up, guess what he gonna teach his or her child? The same thing. And now guess what? Your whole tradition and everything has now been integrated to be like them. No longer like you. Understand, that is the whole purpose of it. Read on. Read verse 26.
Yeah, verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him.
King Solomon sinned by these things, by marrying wives of the other nation. So you see the same thing throughout history in the Bible, during the time of Nehemiah, during the time of the Greeks, all the way up to now, where integration has always been a detriment to our people. That's why God said this. Get Zephaniah 2. A couple more scriptures. Zephaniah 2, read verse 1. That's why God said this.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not
That's why
desired.
we must gather ourselves together, O nation not desired. We are not desired by these other nations. Anything they put in place is to destroy us and is not for our benefit. That's why we must come together in these last days. And how we come together is under God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
Before the decree bring forth.
Read. Come on.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff.
Before the day pass as the chaff. In these last days, we must gather ourselves together. We must come back together and be about ourselves, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans under God's commandments. Last scripture, get that proverb. Well, two more scriptures. Proverbs 3 and 31, and then 1 Maccabees 3 and 43. Proverbs 3:31.
The book of Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31.
Come on.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
We must not envy the oppressor. And the Bible says choose none of his ways. We understand we got to move through our society, but I don't have to be integrated with them. I don't have to bring them into my circle, into my knit. No, I got to be about my people. The Bible says envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Was that it on that? Watch this. Last scripture, 1 Maccabees 3:43. We must gather ourselves together and come back as Israelites under the law, statutes, and commandments. 1 Maccabees 3, verse 43.
The book of 1 Maccabees chapter 3, verse 43. They said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our
That's
people.
what we must do, because we see the decayed estate of our people. We see our people have been destroyed through integration and all these other different policies and procedures. We must see that, come back to God's laws, and begin to restore, because that's what we're doing. That's why we out on these street corners. That's why we're teaching our people to repent, keep God's commandments. That's why we have these different programs put in place to do what? To restore the decayed estate of our people. Read on.
To restore the decayed estate of our people. And let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
So all praises be to the Most High God. I pray y'all got some understanding out of today's class. Hey, tune in next to the noon class with Deacon Ithan coming up next. All praises be to the Most High God. Shalom.